Welcome back to another episode of the Run the North podcast. Today we are continuing our breakdown of every team's offseason, doing the NFC West. Before we get into all that, though, boys, how are we doing?
Tired. That's how I'm doing.
What are you tired about?
Agreed.
Editing is a lot more difficult than I gave it credit for. Listen, I'm just saying, you saw how long
Welcome to the real world, motherfucker.
Right. I was gonna say, you just saw how long it took me to understand how audio works on OBS. Imagine how long it's taking me to learn how to insert clips and edit clips and keep my audio over the clips and all sorts of different
remember
things.
being such a baby when it came to making content.
The best thing
It's kind of cute.
Guess where I've done all my editing for all of my videos so far?
CapCut.
I mean, that's valid.
Yep.
CapCut.
Wait, CapCut. No.
CapCut.
You
That's
have an
right,
iPhone.
baby.
Download
That's
iMovie,
right.
you piece of shit.
I like CapCut.
iMovie is worse than CapCut.
No.
Yes.
No.
I specifically switched from iMovie to CapCut for that.
Also,
reason.
if I ever see you leave the CapCut fucking watermark in there, I will kill you.
There hasn't been a
So
watermark
you know.
for... Oh, you mean like the one at the very end?
The end screen.
That's the first thing
if
I
you
do
ever
is
leave
delete
that,
end screen.
I was gonna say, if you ever leave that in a video, we're nuking every channel you've ever made. TikTok, YouTube.
So what I'm hearing is from now on, I'm going to leave it in for every Run the North TikTok I edit.
I will delete every TikTok. I will delete every TikTok we post.
CapCut sponsor us, so we have to leave it in.
Yeah, CapCut, if you're listening to this.
Yeah, okay.
We're your best option. Yeah, we're your best option.
Pay me, and we'll deal with it.
I am a YouTuber that is solely making my living in CapCut, so...
Here's the thing. Making your living. You haven't made $1.
I haven't made a penny.
Also...
I've made $5.
I'll stick with using real editing software, thanks.
This guy, he thinks he's better than us, Jake.
DaVinci Resolve is free, Miller. You're using a computer. Just download it. Do it.
It's easier for me on my computer or on my phone.
No, it's not.
I assure you it is. I assure you.
For me, it has been because I know how to use a phone a lot better than a computer.
Oh God.
I am the average Gen Z individual.
I hate you both. No, you're not. The average Gen Z individual can fucking figure out a computer. You are the average baby boomer over here. Which, I mean, it is kind of valid. Look at everything going on over there. That just screams boomer.
Batman?
He's literally rocking an AC/DC shirt.
Hey, respect AC/DC.
Cook.
Can you name more than 2 AC/DC songs right now?
Yeah, Highway to Hell, TNT, Hell's Bells, Big Balls. Oh my God, I hate being put on the spot. Fuck.
Eleanor Rigby.
Dirty Deeds done dirt cheap. Back in Black. Why was that not the first one that came to mind?
Freebird.
Freebird. Freebird.
Jake!
3 Steps.
Get out.
Fool in the Rain.
God, I hate it here.
Now listen, if I wear a band's t-shirt, I know their music. I'm not a poser.
We're gonna check that every time I see you in a band's t-shirt.
You're wearing a Rams jersey. Name every person on the 53-man roster right
now. Yeah.
Well, currently there isn't a 53-man roster. Currently it's like 180 man. So fuck you.
Okay, fine. Name all of them.
Name their entire draft class.
Name me every Green Bay Packer. You claim to be a fan, so
Aaron Rodgers, Devonta Adams, Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Donald Driver,
just a complete L.
Reggie White,
Jim Taylor,
Mason Crosby,
not
John
a Packer.
Kuhn.
Jim
Taylor was a Packer. You
Aaron Ripkowski. Jim Taylor was a Packer. Aaron Ripkowski.
Nope.
Eddie Lacy. Robert Tonyan.
Yeah, Geek, you say you're gonna hold me to that. Just wait until I pull up with a Skinner shirt and name their entire discography, and we're sitting here for 20
Oh,
minutes.
Well, he
God.
would. Well, that's why you're never allowed to wear one on this podcast. And if he does, there's no acknowledgement from you or me, Geek, because he won't stop.
My only
I'm going to be
Skinner
honest.
shirt,
I'm going to forget by tomorrow that I
Yeah.
said any of this, so it's okay.
my only Skinner shirt. I don't know if you'd be able to tell from here up that it's a Skinner shirt, because I think
Perfect.
it's like an eagle, and then it says Freebird at the bottom.
Okay, cool.
The
I'm
pure
doing
silence
great,
that
guys.
followed. Yeah. How are
I'm
you
doing
doing,
great.
Geek?
Let's move. I'm doing great. Jake, how you doing? Let's.
I'm doing all right. So yeah, as I mentioned at the top of the episode, we are going through the NFC West's offseason. And since Geek's wearing the jersey, I suppose we'll start with the Los Angeles Rams. Woo!
They
Don't worry,
signed
they
no
didn't
one.
sign anybody. You
Yeah.
don't need to look that up. It's just their draft class.
I
They
think
have
it's really
signed
just
no
the
one.
draft class that we're going to be looking at. So let's look at their draft class, shall we?
Started with the
Low-key
Rams the first time we tried to record this, and yeah, they got nobody.
Yeah,
Not
Miller.
a person.
Miller's a big fan of this draft class, apparently.
I am.
So starting with their first pick of the draft they made in round 2, with pick 36, they took Steve Avila, kind of guard out of TCU. He can play pretty much any position on the offensive line if he needed to, which is a good pick for a team that had 0 offensive linemen. I'm a big fan of Avila. I liked him a lot. So I mean, I can't make this a bad pick. I can't call this a bad pick.
Rob Havenstein exists. Why did I have to do this both times?
Oh, that's
He
where you were going
exists.
with that. Okay.
Acknowledge him. Also,
Who?
didn't they just pay Joseph Noteboom?
Yeah, Joseph Noteboom's not bad.
I mean, last
Let's
year
put it
he
this
was
way.
actually
Some
There's no
awful, but
inferior
lineman.
offensive lineman.
there you go. Their tackles are
That's-
fine.
Yeah.
They're not great, but they're serviceable.
Yeah.
But also, Osiris Torrance existed, so I still.
See, Geek and I had this conversation the
Meh.
last time we tried to record this when you weren't here.
Yeah.
And me and him, I agree with you, Jake. I think it was a great pick. But Geek doesn't like it because Osiris Torrance was on the board, which I get to a certain extent. But
But
then
I also understand buying into the versatility of Avila.
not only the versatility,
Sure.
but he fits their scheme a lot better. The Rams run.
You don't have any good players. Fuck your scheme.
No,
You can't
listen,
run a scheme.
okay.
You don't have any players.
Okay, listen.
Maybe
If
get a
Sean
good
McVay,
player.
okay, Sean McVay comes from that same coaching tree that Kyle Shanahan does, and they run 2 different versions of a wide zone run scheme heavy offense,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I guess McVay comes from or subscribes more to the passing side of it, and then Shanahan is more the rushing side. But McVay is still going to require athletic interior linemen that can get out in space and hit somebody when they're running the ball to the outside. And that is exactly what Steve Avila was. He is probably the most athletic guard in this class, other than Cody Mock, but like me and you kind of talked about, I don't know how many teams viewed Mock as a guard versus a center. So if we're just talking about the guys that actually played on the interior, there wasn't a more athletic guard in this class than Steve Avila. So him going to them makes a ton of sense. And additionally, he's a pretty damn good pass blocker. He's the type of guy that absorbs contact incredibly well, isn't going to get moved around a whole lot as a pass blocker. And ironically, I know I'm sitting here talking about how great he fits in their scheme. His run blocking is more of a concern for me. And I think they'll be fine. I think they'll get that sorted out. But yeah, I think
It won't matter. They don't run the ball.
I think they're gonna have to this year.
With who?
Someone we'll talk about here in a little bit.
We getting 400 carries from Cam Akers?
No, we're gonna talk about their future RB1 here when we get a little bit deeper into their draft class.
Will we?
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see
Yes.
what we're talking about.
But yeah, so Jake and I like Avila.
I'm not saying I'm not saying
weirdo.
it's a bad pick. It's just I'm sorry. And I'm not saying scheme fit doesn't matter. I'm saying Torrance is head and shoulders better as a player. I don't think you just go okay, it would be like the Bears taking Siaki Ika at 10 instead of Jalen Carter. That's stupid. I'm not saying that's the perfect scheme fit. I'm saying you take a way worse player because he fits the scheme a little bit.
I think you're underselling how good Avila is.
Yeah,
I think you're underselling how good Osiris Torrance is.
I understand. Osiris
top
Torrance,
10 prospect in this class versus a guy we all graded as a second-round guy.
Okay, first of all, I didn't have Torrance as a top 10 guy in the class. He was my second-rated interior offensive lineman behind JMS.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I agree. He was better, but first of all, there is a reason why Torrance fell. Clearly, we missed something that the NFL did not. Or that GMs picked up on.
Probably interviews.
Probably. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
guard needy teams not just pass on him for
right.
no reason.
And plus, Torrance just doesn't move as well as Avila does, and in that kind of offense, you can say what you want about scheme fit. That is integral. That would be like having a running back that that would be like putting Mo Ibrahim in wide zone offense where all he can do is run between the tackles. Love Mo Ibrahim, but he's not making it to the edge. He's not getting there.
No.
So, yeah, I agree with someone like Ika versus Carter. Different. I think scheme fit matters a lot more for offensive players than it does defensive players.
No.
For me personally, just because I feel like because of how reactionary defense is,
offensive line for sure. Offense as a whole, definitely not. You can.
Okay, fair.
Good players are good players.
Okay, I'll rephrase
defense
it.
though, bad
We're talking
scheme
about
kills
linemen.
you.
Period. Right.
Sure.
Offensive line scheme fit matters a lot more than defensive line scheme fit. That's more where
valid.
I was going with that.
That's valid. It's just, and I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I'm just gonna judge every team. You've heard it every time we've talked. I'm judging every team that passed on Torrance that could have used a guard, and I'm gonna do that with the Rams too. I'm just gonna be fair across the board. Any guard-needy team is getting shit for not taking
addressing the point that you made, I also think that the gap between Siaki Ika and Jalen Carter is so much bigger than the gap.
I'm so much higher on Ika than either of you guys, but that's fine.
If you're high enough on Ika to be like he was close to Jalen Carter or closer than Avila was to Torrance,
it's about the same. Different. You guys hate Ika, why?
I don't hate him.
I'm just saying that Jalen Carter is a generational prospect and was the best prospect in the class.
Ika's biggest problem for you guys was that he can't play more than 2 downs. We've never seen Carter play more than 1 down in a row.
The issue with Ika is that he's a nose. Like he is just a nose tackle. He's not a world beater. He's not a versatile DT. He's not somebody that's going to make a massive impact on passing downs. Like, the stamina thing.
He's Vita Vea.
I still
not
think
as good as Vita Vea, but you know what I mean.
He's great
like that
value,
type of
Vita
player.
Vea.
Yes,
Geek says that
Vita Vea.
And I agree with that. I have said that for a while. He is the epitome of a nose tackle versus Jalen Carter, who at his best when he's actually playing snaps can be a game wrecker.
Yeah.
So Torrance, love him. Fair. He's not a game wrecker. He's a really good guard.
No guard can be a game wrecker.
Okay, I'll put it this way. He's not elite by guard standards.
Fair, but I don't know. It's hard to quantify any offensive lineman as elite when they come out. It just doesn't happen. What is happening over there?
Jake is angry.
Jake is
I dropped my mic. Just for the record, before we move on to the next pick, Geek officially thinks that Siaki Ika is as good as Vita Vea right now. For the record, he thinks that right now. For the record, he believes this. He believes this. He believes this.
Vita Vea is old, and he's the only good player on the Buccaneers, so he's going to have zero impact next year.
Respect Kokeeft, buddy.
Let me see him get more than 0 snaps, and maybe I can.
He actually got quite a few snaps last year. They played him a lot as their second tight end.
Boom! No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, they
Kokeeft actually had a couple big catches.
Yeah,
and so did Irv Smith.
Yeah, Irv Smith wishes he could be Kokeeft. Former state wrestling champion Kokeeft.
Irv Smith sits and scrolls through Twitter. He just searches Kokeeft and scrolls and just
all
dreams.
He sees are
well, I mean, I was gonna say he's injured all the time, so I mean, what else can he do other than scroll Twitter?
He sees my tweets
and why does he like Kokeeft so much?
And then he sees that Kokeeft's dad likes all my Kokeeft propaganda.
True.
That's how I listen.
You and your propaganda.
I sleep
You're
well at
never
night.
gonna get in touch with players, just their dads.
Listen, I sleep well at night knowing that Kari Blasingame sees my propaganda because he follows me. And that Keith's family sees my propaganda because his brother and his dad both like my tweets.
Here's what it is. Miller Football is your favorite NFL player's dad's favorite analyst.
Yes, sir.
That is what Miller Football is.
Or brothers.
Fair enough.
Because Rashad
No,
Penny's
I don't
brother
know.
follows me.
You've got multiple. I was gonna say, I got Calais Campbell's brother. So
I got Keith's brother and I got Rashad Penny's brother, who also.
How do you get Rashad Penny's brother?
Because he was a fullback in the NFL.
I'm the one actually praising my guy.
I know, that's so ironic. Like, I don't like Rashad Penny.
I know, and I'm out here praising him all the time. Where's my follow from the Penny family?
Yeah.
It's some shit.
His brother played fullback for like 4 years, Elijah Penny.
I'm gonna be honest. Did not know they were related.
I didn't know they were related
dude,
either.
There's no way you're talking about Elijah Penny. It's got to be somebody else.
I didn't know they were related until I saw Rashad Penny retweet Elijah Penny's retirement tweet. Then I was like, oh, wait. Oh.
Connection.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, Steve Avila good win game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were talking about the Rams.
Avila was a good pick. And then the third, with their first third-round pick, Kobe Turner, guy who I liked a decent bit, yes. Byron Young, whatever.
Yeah, Byron Young was first.
Our grade for Avila. I forget, do we do grade for each pick or just grade at the very end?
Grade at the very end.
Okay, cool.
For their entire offseason. But yeah, sorry, Byron Young, the edge of Tennessee, not the one from Alabama. Better Byron Young, I believe.
Yes,
he's the better one. Yes. So Byron Young, they got an edge rusher. I think that's a good pick, and I do remember liking Tennessee Byron Young. He's a good pick. They have nobody to pass rush. I mean, they have 0 people. There's nobody on the defensive line who's ever been any good at any point in their career whatsoever. Nobody. And so they needed somebody who could actually have a chance of being a good player this season.
Well, there's that guy that thinks he's Kalijah Cansey.
Oh, the other Pittsburgh guy who everybody thinks is Kalijah Cansey, but in reality he'll never be anywhere close.
That 99 guy on the Rams, yeah.
Madden's never gotten their ratings right.
Yeah, Madden.
No, he wears 99.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
Fucking idiot. It was the Urban Meyer quote. Because Urban Meyer was finally watching film, and who's that number 99 guy on the Rams? He's pretty good. Oh God, Miller,
I don't even know his name. Anyway, Byron Young,
Anthony Davis, I think. I don't know. They said AD. I don't know.
Ron James,
Adrian Peterson,
Michael Jordan.
No, Adrian Peterson was a running back for the Bears.
Ah, of course.
He wore number 29, had dreads.
Mm-hmm. Backed up Matt Forte.
Yeah.
Of course.
What did you guys think about the Byron Young pick?
I thought it was
the most chaotic episode of all time.
I thought it was a nice pick. So as we remember, there was a bit of a run on edge rushers right before this pick, and getting him when they did. First of all, I had a 3rd-round grade on him, so it was good value. And given the run, the fact that they were able to walk away with him was pretty impressive. Like, I thought that was really, really good for them. I also think he's going to work out very well in LA specifically, because he's the type of guy that's a little undersized as an edge rusher, but he's super quick, great first step, really good bend, things of that nature, right? So if you put him, ironically, on the same side as that 99 fella, he's going to get a lot of pressure, because when the attention goes to number 99, it's going to leave him in a lot of really good situations. Like, to me, you have to play him next to him, because Young is not very strong and he's not very big. So he's going to get screwed if he gets bodied, like, one-on-one against a tackle. There's a lot of instances where he's going to get bodied, which also really hurts his run defense. But if you utilize his athleticism and allow him to be the finisher on stunts because he is sick on stunts, then he's going to cook. He's going to be a really nice, like, edge 2 long term if they can kind of polish him a little bit. He's going to be 25, I think, as a rookie, which obviously isn't ideal, but he's not fully developmental, which gives me a little bit of hope there. So just kind of polish him. He's a little rough around the edges, but get that worked out, and you can have yourself a really nice Robin to somebody's Batman a few years down the line.
Yeah. Geek.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really have much to add here. Miller really went in on that. He was excited for that. Miller spent so much time on D-line. I'm just going to let him talk if it's a D-line pick. Because, I swear, 90% of his time watching prospects was D-linemen.
I think I watched 60 defensive linemen total.
For no reason.
Fact, Miller just made up all his other draft write-ups and only watched defensive linemen.
Honestly, I could believe it, because, my God.
No, listen,
but
it wasn't for no reason. It was because the Bears needed D-line so bad. I was like, I need to know all of them so I can have instant reactions.
True.
Yeah, I
and then every D lineman they drafted, you didn't know. No, that would have been funnier.
Who's this Gervin Dexter fella?
No, I won't lie. Even after all that, they did draft a defensive lineman I've never heard of, or I had.
Love that.
Granted,
Love
he went
that
to
for
Kennesaw State, so can you blame him?
First ever player drafted from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Travis Bell, baby. Absolute dog.
He's actually a top 10 defensive lineman in the class for me. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, sure.
Speaking of top 10 defensive linemen in this class for me, in round 3 in pick 89, they took Kobe Turner, who I think was a dog. I think he ranked. I have it pulled up.
He was IDL
8.
He was IDL 6 for me.
Yeah, he was up there for both of us. Seemingly, I liked Kobe Turner a good bit, and they got somebody who can actually play football in the interior of the defensive line now, so that's a very, very good thing. And so definitely we're missing a hole there. They haven't had anybody in the past decade who could rush the passer from the interior of the defensive line. So finally they had Kobe Turner and do this. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Kobe Turner pick. It bolsters the defensive line that was pretty shallow. Nobody really there. Absolutely zero people. And yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, so I think I would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the fact.
Sorry, my internet's breaking up. I'm gonna have to leave. Sorry. I'm out.
All right, Jake and I shall cook.
Dude, whatever you guys are cooking at the moment is just...
I don't think he's serious. I think he's just tired of me not mentioning the man who wears 99.
Pretty much.
Again, don't even know his name.
Greatest top 3 defensive player of all time. Just wants to not mention him because he's a hoe.
Jalen Ramsey's on the team.
No.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey went to the Dolphins.
The Dolphins have a top 3 defensive player.
No. He's thinking of Leonard Floyd.
Oh, Leonard Floyd.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh, Leonard Floyd. That's a good pick.
I'm going to go play Minecraft.
You're cooking.
You guys continue talking. I'm going to play Minecraft.
In all seriousness, I love the Kobe Turner pick. First of all, Kobe was one of my favorite players in the whole class. I think I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Kobe, Jake, and I are all cut from the same cloth, as we are all...
Is he a theater kid?
He wasn't a theater kid, he was a choir kid. But he was into
even better.
He was into the arts.
Yes, sir.
Literally in band and choir, but cool. Thanks, dog.
You were?
Yeah, we've talked about this.
You're just being a cunt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, then look at us. Look at us. All 4 of us cut from the same cloth. We all love football. We all love music. It's just one of the 4 of us is a lot better at it than the other 3 and is now going to get paid millions of dollars to play football. But yeah, in high school, he was a member of...
Yeah.
In high school, he was a member of 3 different a cappella groups. And then...
Just cooking.
Yeah.
Interior D lineman 1.
He went to college for choir. He didn't go to college for football. He went to some JUCO for choir, started playing football there, and then got recruited to Wake Forest. And then
Rams Christmas album's gonna go crazy this year.
It really is, dude. And then once he got to Wake Forest, he ran another a cappella group and conducted 4 orchestral pieces. They called him the conductor at Wake Forest because of his music background, which is awesome. Coldest nickname in the NFL.
I gotta ask, did you watch more tape on him as a football player or as a
No,
art
unfortunately, I didn't get
art
to.
kid?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch any of his musical tape. I just read an article, and it's ingrained in my brain.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, but he's a good pick.
Interesting.
He's a
yeah,
good
no, I
pick.
mean he's a super instinctive, quick defensive tackle that has a lot of power in his hands.
I
Really
never had
high,
one of those, so
yeah, real high
good to.
motor. Never quits. Got good leverage. The only issue with him is he's a little bit undersized. Sound a little familiar. And he's not the most consistent guy in the world, which is an issue, but I don't know. Maybe 99 can help him out with that.
Probably not. 99's not good.
Hey, respect clone CT99. He died a
No.
hero.
No clones were heroes.
Then hey, in round 4, they guaranteed what? Do you have strong thoughts on Kobe Turner? I came to you last time and you were just like, I have nothing to add because Mood talks about other defensive linemen.
Miller didn't even talk about him as a football player. He talked about him as a
He
musician.
did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so
Not at all.
you were
I
definitely zoned out because he just gave a whole spiel about him.
Oh, dude, I
Yeah.
definitely
Anywho,
don't listen to any of you. No, the answer is he's the Sebastian Joseph Day replacement.
Yes.
That's the
Except
actual
he's
answer here.
smaller.
I would say he's more than
Not
99
really.
replacement.
He weighs
Is
a whole 6 pounds less.
is Sebastian Jonas,
Congrats.
is he smaller than I'm thinking he is?
He is 6'4" to this guy's what, 6'3"? Kobe's 6'3" or
Really?
6'2"? Yeah. 6'4", 295 versus 6'2" or 6'3". I'm seeing varying answers for Kobe's height. 288. It is a
Oh,
7-pound difference.
damn, I thought Day was a little
They're
bit bigger.
it's
My bad.
no.
My
So
bad.
it's a
Yeah.
like the height's a little different, but fuck.
No.
He's over 6'2", who cares?
And he uses his height to his advantage. He's really good at creating leverage. So,
Yeah. So
damn.
they finally got their Sebastian Joseph
Yeah.
Day replacement, which is interesting. So
Sebastian Joseph
yeah,
Day with the
that
voice of an
that was the
angel.
thoughts I was waiting to. Yes,
Yeah.
that should have been in your player count or in your write ups for this guy.
Yeah. Sebastian Joseph Day replacement.
No, I found him at like the last second. I didn't get to do a write up on him, unfortunately.
L.
But in round 4, they guaranteed themselves the next 10 Super Bowls by drafting Stetson Bennett to be the assumed QB of the future. I mean, assumed QB of the future now.
Okay.
Isn't he older than Matthew Stafford? How can he be the QB of the future?
They were roommates. Yeah.
They were roommates.
Stetson Bennett.
They
I
could
don't
have
have too
been,
strong. I
honestly.
don't have too strong of thoughts. He's not going to be a starter as a rookie, so he's not really too interesting to talk about. And I don't think he'll have much of a role with the team moving forward unless he's like really, really good and Matt Stafford retires or leaves or something. But like I said, I don't have too strong of thoughts. If one of you two does, go ahead and take the floor. But it's not the worst pick in the
All right.
world. He's
I
not a
feel
bad
like
quarterback.
I mean,
actually, yeah, I'll let Geek talk first.
no. If you actually have an opinion, I was just going off Jake's not the worst pick in the world. I mean, it might have been. I mean, there were a lot of quarterbacks on the board that are better in every way than Stetson Bennett.
Lloyd Cunningham. Indeed, TR.
Why? Yeah. And Jaron Hall and fucking every good quarterback in this class that wasn't one of the top 4 guys.
Max
Or
Dugan.
Where did you guys have Bennett?
Let me look quick.
13, I think. I did not like Stetson Bennett. He's short and has a weak arm. I'm out. I'm checking. Hold on. My shit loads
9, that's
slow.
where I had him.
Why did you have him? How did you have him at 9?
He's the top
That's
10
not
quarterback in this
real.
class.
My
He
top
is
10:
not.
Young,
Watching him play
Stroud,
football,
Richardson,
yeah.
Levis, Hall, Hooker, McKee, Dugan, and then Bennett.
He's gross. That is a horrible,
Oh, he was
horrible
10.
turn of events.
No, he was 9 for me.
My
Who's after
QB
him?
board, there the fuck it is. My
At 10,
God.
I had Toon.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, I had Bennett at 12.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also had Dugan, Bennett, and Toon all in the 5th round, so like I had very similar thoughts on the 3 of them.
Yeah, well, this is also like 4th. So it's not like it's too
Yeah,
far
no,
off
I
from
mean,
where
it
we
was a
had him
little
graded. Yeah,
early, but I get
little.
it.
I
Like,
understand it.
he played in a really similar offense to what the Rams run in college. So he already has, like, an understanding of what's going to be going on. It's not like you have to teach him a whole new offense, which is obviously big for a backup, especially with the status of Matthew Stafford at the start of the season kind of up in the air because we have no idea what's going on with his arm. So if he can't throw, I don't think
Ugh.
Stetson's the worst starter for them if Stafford can't play. Like, I know he's small, I agree, but he's tough. He's got good poise. He's got a good football IQ. He's a natural leader. He sees the field pretty well. I liked his release a lot. He's accurate. Maybe this is crazy, and call me out if it is.
Gonna be.
But if any player is going to be Brock Purdy from this class, it's Stetson Bennett. In the sense that he's going to exceed expectations despite
Yeah, I agree.
still not playing great. The only hang up there is that he doesn't have the cast that Purdy
All you
does,
have to do is
obviously.
let any of the bad quarterbacks in this class play, and they could fill that same role. Play not good, but overachieve expectation. When the expectation is that they never play it down, if they can play and not get benched, that's overachieving.
I'm talking about
And
overachieve to the point where Purdy did. I'm not saying all the way to the championship, but like win a bunch of games and get the media riled up and have people trick
any
people
of the
into
guys
thinking
who
they're
can
good.
move and actually trick you into thinking they're good, go
I'm not saying he's
you
the
know,
only one with that potential. I agree.
I
There's a
just
couple
I
guys
don't.
that could do that. But I'm saying
So
Stetson specifically because I think he has the best chance to get on the field because we have
that
no idea
that
what's
might be
going on with
fair.
Stafford's arm.
That's
I'll put it
fair.
this way.
That's
If
the thing
Jaron
that
Hall stepped
scares
in
me
for
for
Kirk
them.
Cousins for some reason this year, I'd say the same exact thing about
That's
him.
valid.
Like, it's just, I
Yeah,
think Stetson has
So
the clearest path to being on the field.
that's fair.
That's the big reason. Yeah. No.
yeah,
Nah, because
no,
Cuzzo's
I
gonna
agree.
suck in week 2 and get benched for Hall. Just
Yeah, like if
watch.
something like that happened, you're hearing me sing a different tune. But now that I don't hate Kirk,
Tune,
unfortunately, I
Clinton,
don't think
Tune,
he's gonna.
Tune. You said Tune, Tune, Clinton, Tune.
No,
Get
Clayton
it? Funny
Tune's
joke.
No, nobody
Get it?
said
Funny.
that. Stop
Dick
it.
is like his last name's Tune.
Anyways, no, I like this pick for the Rams. If another team took him in the 4th round, I'd be questioning it a hell of a lot more. But for the Rams specifically, I like the
I
pick.
so my biggest issue with it is sure you're not wrong about anything you said, but I don't know how he is like the exact opposite of a quarterback that Stafford is. I don't
Yeah.
know how you go from Stafford to Bennett. Go from big guy, big arm to little guy, little arm. It can maybe see the field, kind of, but even then, can he see it
Dude,
at
don't worry.
Stafford's level?
When they
Like I don't.
draft Brock Bowers next year, that dude is gonna go crazy.
The big thing
Not
with the Rams
the
is
Rams are getting Caleb Williams, and I'm terrified. They're going to be the worst team in football because Stafford's not going to play.
Not,
Ugh,
neither will Colt. Neither will. Would you rather have Colt McCoy or Stetson Bennett?
Colt McCoy. I'm not even kidding. I'd rather have Colt McCoy. And I
I'd
think
rather.
anybody else would too. You want the rookie who's not good
Who
versus
I'd
the
rather have
veteran
than
who's not good.
like I said, I like
I,
Stetson. I don't think he's as bad as you think
yeah.
he is.
Um.
I think he's
But
worse than you think I think he is.
in the 5th, Nick Hampton was their first pick.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
solid.
It was just a solid pick. I
I
mean,
have no clue
I
who
don't
he
have
is.
I do, but I don't know enough about him to be like, oh, terrible pick or a great pick. I think it's a solid pick. I
You're
know
just
enough about
taking
him
a
to say that
flyer
it's
on an
solid,
edge rusher who's really athletic here. That's all it
Sure.
is.
and that's what they need.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He's got a really good first step. He's fluid, he's bendy, his burst is good. The big issues with him is much like Byron Young. He's small and he's not a good run defender. But
okay.
unlike Byron Young, he's not 25. So he
But,
has more room to grow than Byron Young, but he's also younger. So
mhm.
yeah, like he was edge 19 on my big board. and Byron Young
Okay.
is edge 14. So
Yeah. Geek, you said you don't know who it is. So I'm assuming you don't have any
I didn't
thoughts
watch
on
him. I
him.
know nothing. I'm not gonna speak.
fair enough.
But and then their second out of 3 fifth round picks.
First
Sorry,
round picks.
Warren McClendon. Yeah, this is the first L they took in this draft. Is
Stinker.
Warren McClendon.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's a Georgia player, and we're apparently praising Stetson. So why are we not praising this guy? I have no clue who this guy is either, but I'm just gonna go there.
He was.
I think he's good anyway.
He was their
No, I
starting
just
tackle,
don't
and by
get
the
it.
end of the year, he was getting rotated in and out for a freshman.
Yeah, he kind of got his job yanked away from him.
Yeah.
That's not ideal.
As a draft prospect,
he
the
was the
freshman was
worst
just like
offensive
my job
tackle that I
now.
watched. He was my lowest rated tackle, and I had a 7th
I
round
believe
grade
he was
on him.
probably. I think he was definitely bottom 3 in my offensive tackle ratings.
Yeah.
I think
he was
we
not good.
The only upside I can see
Oh.
for him is he can move a little bit, so maybe if they want to kick him inside to guard, he can be better. But like his mechanics are a mess. He doesn't have a strong anchor. Like he's just not a tackle.
Gotcha.
So if you kick him inside to guard and you can utilize his athleticism, he can be okay depth.
Maybe. Yeah, good. He could be good guard depth. That is a true statement.
But that's the
As
only route I
as
see
we've
him
talked
working.
about, you guys watched a lot more prospects than I got to.
True.
So
yeah.
which is weird, I know, but that's
no, it's
how it worked.
understandable. You have a full-time content creator job.
Yeah, but talking about football is part of that. Somebody told me that the other day. Why aren't you as well versed as Miller? It's like because I have to spend my time
just say Grayson's
doing
name.
other things. It actually wasn't. No, it was just somebody. I don't know.
Really? It wasn't.
It was somebody
can't
who's
even
not
shit.
running in our circle.
It was just somebody.
Well, thank you,
Because I
random
was
person.
saying
I
some
appreciate
shit.
the
If
compliment.
you're listening to this episode, you're cooking. I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding.
It's one of those things. I didn't ever say I knew more about prospects than Miller did. It's like I have admitted the whole time I haven't watched as many prospects. I won't get to as
Miller
many.
definitely watched the most out
Deal
of
with it.
the 3
Oh
of us.
yeah, Miller went in.
Yeah, I had a lot of
Which
fun.
like credit to him, but
That's the result of having no social life.
Yeah,
and only having
because
4 classes.
I would wake up in the morning and I would just scroll through Twitter and just see 3 AM Miller tweets just like this guy moves me. I like this guy.
Dude, I would do an 8-hour stream and
this guy's blank ability is really, really impressing me recently.
Dude, and I'd be like, I finished an 8-hour stream and now I'm kinda tired, so I'm going to bed. Maybe I'll watch a prospect tomorrow. But also I don't feel right saying I watched a guy after watching
Aiden
2.
O'Connell.
Yeah.
That's why I never finished Aiden O'Connell, is because I fell asleep watching Aiden O'Connell.
That's valid.
Aiden O'Connell is so boring.
Yeah.
Like I literally I was trying my best to stay up but I made the mistake of like being in a comfortable position while watching him, and then I just completely fell asleep and never finished him. So I don't know if Aiden O'Connell's any good or not.
He's not.
For reference, right? I had what would have been 2 in-person classes this semester. They both fell on Tuesday and Thursday. So I had to worry about class going in person twice a week. And even then, I only kind of went half the time because none of my professors gave a shit about attendance, and I was pretty well versed in the classes.
Valid.
And then, or no, I'm sorry, I had 3 in-person classes, but they were all back to back to back. Like I had 15-minute breaks in between. And then I have no social life, and football is fun. So I spent an absurd amount of time watching plays.
Yes, sir.
You know what? If it was legal for me to have watched all of this film on Twitch streams, I would have outdone you.
Probably.
Because I could have just sat here watching film and like talking with people, getting other like that. I would have fucking rocked.
See,
yeah,
but I know I would get shut down so fast.
Do it on Kick. Nobody cares.
I'm not allowed to stream there. Yeah. I've tried. I don't know.
Blacklisted from Kick.
I'm too good for Kick, man. I'm sorry. Too good of a human. They won't allow me on that platform.
Any closing thoughts on Warren McClendon?
I just want to say one more thing real quick. Geek, I feel that because when I first started watching film, like right after the Super Bowl, I was watching it in pure silence and I didn't get jack shit done because yeah, that was literally me. And then
Yeah, no, can't do
I
that.
tweeted something about it and Jax was like, "Why don't you just listen to music, you weirdo?"
Yeah.
And then I started
I
listening to
also replied to that. I was like, dude,
yeah,
music, let's
yeah.
go.
And then I started listening to
You listening to Run the North episodes while I'm
no,
watching
I would
film?
listen to fucking video game music. Like I already know my top artist on Spotify is gonna be like the Mario, like someone that's posted Mario theme songs.
I know my top artist has been the same for like 4 years in a row. Harris Heller,
I'm
because
not
they
gonna tell
make
you guys who my top artist is probably going to be because
Andrew Garfield,
Taylor Swift.
my bro, been listening to Tick Tick Boom. I respect it.
it's probably going to end up being I think it's gonna end up being some musical theater lead guy, and
I
I'm
respect it.
terrified of it.
Oh, that's
It's
fine.
gonna end up being like Lin-Manuel Miranda just solely because of Hamilton, or it'll be Young Gravy, and that's equally as bad.
Miller judges me because MGK is in my top 5. Jake, it's fine. You're never going to be the
No, I
one
mean
who's
Jake's
viewed to have the
speaking
worst
my
opinions on this
language.
podcast.
Jake's talking about
Yeah,
shit
that's
I
true.
listen to.
Yeah.
Like for me, it'll be either Silk Sonic,
I
it'll
know the
be
5.
yeah, it'll be Silk Sonic, Haley Steinfeld, Leonard Skinnard, Post Malone, or it'll end up being some random musical or not musical video game shit.
Valid.
It also might end up being the Chalk Eaters because of that fucking Bowsette song that I have listened to an absurd amount of times. You can ask Grayson about it.
Never
Me and
even
him
heard a
talked about it.
clip of it.
Oh my god,
Never once.
it goes hard.
Nah.
It does.
So mine will be Harris Heller, Wednesday, Emerson Corleone, Mindy, and MGK, just like it was last year. Harris Heller's gonna have double the time of everybody else, but he has like a back catalog of 1 million songs that I get to use on stream because they're
Yeah.
copyright free. So he's played the most because while I'm streaming, like 4 of those 5 are playing, but he just has the most songs out.
Mm-hmm.
So he just has the most time listened, and it's a wild fucking number. I am in the top 0.01% of his listeners every year. That's what happens when you listen to his music for basically 9 hours a day. Harris Heller, we love you.
We are
At least I
taking
do.
an absurd amount of time to get past the Rams.
It's fine.
Because they're boring and I don't care. Sorry. Davis Allen, Miller, words.
I like Davis Allen. I think
Up to 10
Jake,
in the
did you
class.
also like him? Was it you that
Up
replied to
10,
my
10 in
tweet?
the class.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was
Cook.
my tight end 8. I love Davis
He was
Allen.
right behind Laporta. I forget where I had Laporta, but he was the next guy after
Damn.
Laporta for me.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite players. He was one of my guys just because he's to me he screams career reliable tight end too in the most positive way possible. Like like Foster Moreau tight end too. Where
W.
Yeah.
maybe there's a couple teams where he could start, but if he's your tight end too, you are feeling fantastic. Because he's not a dude with a ton of athletic upside, which is kind of why I have him held back, but he's a fantastic blocker, loves to get his hands dirty. And on top of that, he had either a 90 or 91% contested catch rate in college, which is absurd. He's got a massive wingspan. He's awesome. He's awesome. He's the type of tight end like in Madden that you would just high point to and he would come down with it every single time and everyone would hate you because you're cheating. He's awesome. And the fact that
Oh,
he
so
went
now that
behind
Mikey knows this, he will be cheating.
yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Mikey catching strays.
the fact that he got drafted behind Brenton Strange and Luke Schoonmaker blew my mind.
Yeah,
He
that
is
was
much better
really
than
tough.
them, especially Strange.
Yeah, Brendan Strange was a weird pick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we talked about him yet or not. I don't think we have. I don't know who
He
took
got
him.
drafted by the Jags, so no.
No,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, out of go first, Geek. Any Davis Allen thoughts?
Literally none.
Okay.
Literally none.
They had
I'm
another
not.
weapon. With 177 with Puka Nakawa. Another W pick in my opinion. I
Top
like
10 name in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
top 10 name in the draft. Not. I mean Puka. I mean, he doesn't necessarily. I don't necessarily have strong thoughts that or like a strong narrative that he's like really really good. But I did like this pick. I think Puka's pretty good. I think he's solid. It was
Me
a solid
likey
pick.
Puka. I mean,
Cooper Cup number 2.
yeah, I mean, he's
Yeah,
a
he's
McVay guy
Cooper Cup.
through and through. He's a
Yeah.
Yep.
sneaky, athletic, crisp route runner that is very much a willing blocker and is really good after the catch. The only
Mhm.
issue with him is he can't stay healthy. If he was, I said this in the video I just got done editing and will be uploading tonight. If he could have stayed healthy, he would have been a top 5 or 4 receiver for me in this class. I fucking love Puka. He the injuries, man, it just it pisses me off so bad. But I mean, good high IQ, refined route runner, technically sound, really tough, great at the catch point. He's not somebody like you see guys get hit in midair and drop a ball. He's never going to do that. I don't think I saw one clip of him doing that. Anytime he caught the ball in the air, he came down with it.
So he is just Cooper Cup.
Yes,
Coming out,
he
Cooper
is
Cup was
Mormon Cooper Cup.
that's why he fell. He just in constant
Yeah,
injuries, and the
he is
Rams
Mormon
cheated.
Cooper Cup.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I think he's
I couldn't
really
remember if Cooper Cup had those injuries. That's why I made that face and like started doing things. I was looking.
yeah. But the really good thing about this pick is the fact that the Rams receiver room outside of Cup is suspect as fuck. So if
Yeah.
he's healthy, he's gonna be on the field early.
Gonna get some good
And
production.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plus another fun thing about him is if they want to run jet sweeps and pop passes, Puka is a hooper on those. Very, very good.
Their
Puka is
guy.
a hoopa.
Puka to hoopa.
Puka Hoopa.
Puka to hoopa.
Mm-hmm.
This next pick is one of my favorite picks that they made.
Yeah.
Okay. Getting a guy who was a borderline top 10 cornerback in the class for me in Trevis Hodges Tomlinson in the 6th is a W. I like THT a lot. I think that he's a very, very fun corner, and getting him in the 6th is something that definitely I would, if I'm a team that needs a corner, I'm immediately pulling the trigger on that if he falls there. So yeah, I like THT a good bit. He was this close to slipping into my top 10, but he just didn't. Getting him in the 6th is great value. I'm willing to take a shot on him there. But yeah, all around, I like that pick a lot.
Geek, do you have any thoughts here?
Oh, I love this pick. You know me, I mocked THT to the Vikings in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Every
That's right, you did.
single mock draft. I love THT. I mean, I don't know if I was as high on him as Jake was, but I really did like THT, and I don't know. I think getting him in the 6th round is awesome. That's just such good value.
It is
That's
great
so
value.
good for them.
Yeah.
They got their Jalen Ramsey replacement. I want him to wear 5 now so bad. Just be a dick about it. Go steal Jalen's number.
Where's
See,
5? You should duct tape the Ramsey name on the back and just write Hodges
Yeah,
Tomlinson.
I'm just gonna write THT.
Yeah. Miller, what do you think about this pick?
unfortunately, fellas, I don't like THT as much as you do. But I do think this was good value. Like I would have drafted him before the 6th round. I think I had a late 4th, early 5th grade on him. He's just so small. Like
That is the one thing. Yeah.
it's not just the one thing. His size is a big detriment for me because it results in a lot of penalties. Like you can tell when he's in coverage, he is incredibly grabby because he basically is hanging on to the receiver for dear life. Like he was penalized 14 times his last year in college, which is an average of 1 penalty a game, which is far from ideal for a corner. But I will say, I think the Rams were the ideal landing spot for him because we have seen them make tiny corners work in the past. Like shit, I'm forgetting his name already. Darius Williams, who was a boundary
Mm.
corner for them and was like 5'9". They found a way to make him work by playing him in this like full-time off coverage role where he was just kind of reading and reacting to the quarterback and the receiver. And I think that's what they're going to do with THT. And if that's the case, I think he can work there. So I like the pick for the Rams, but if another team would have if he went to another team, I wouldn't like him as much, or I wouldn't think as highly of him in terms of his projection to the NFL. I think the Rams were like the perfect spot for him.
Yeah.
Dude's just 3 inches short.
Yeah.
Because basically every other corner in this class, he weighs the same as Devon Witherspoon and
Hmm.
Cam Smith and more than Emmanuel Forbes. It's those 3 inches. 5'9" is so tough.
Yeah.
Like, damn. What do you do?
Yeah. Is it 5'9"? I thought he was 5'8".
5'9".
I'm not.
I was looking at NFL.com earlier. Who is it that does theirs? Lance Zierlein? He had him listed at 5'8".
No idea. Well,
Zerline's a hater.
Lance Zerline's name is Lance. That's all that needs to
Yeah.
be said. Also, he's a
True.
Zerline, so just like Greg, he's gonna miss constantly.
Okay, but Lance is a cool name because it's the best Elite Four member in the history of Pokemon.
No.
Yeah.
Move on.
Coach Juan Mathis. What do we think about this one, boys?
He's a Cornhusker. That's what I
Miller
know.
might be the only one of us who watched him.
Yeah,
He's the only
ironically,
option.
he was one of the guys that I didn't get to before the draft, but after the draft, I went back and
Okay,
did a
okay.
little
Okay.
digging. And he's just another developmental guy. He's got real long arms, pretty cool.
Slenderman. Got it.
Yeah, but the issue with him is like he has no idea what he's doing. He just
Oh.
kind of, as soon as the ball is snapped, he just kind of runs.
He
So,
just does stuff.
Yeah,
He's just going.
yeah, he has no plan. He is straight up. I mean,
W.
shout
I
out
love
his
that.
improvisation skills. You know, like he can cook on the fly, but he has no plan.
That's a W. I
Yeah.
love that. Sometimes you just need a little chaos.
Yeah, no,
And apparently that's what
he
he's
is
going to
very
bring.
chaotic.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
He's
Mhm.
also, I think, like 25, which again, not ideal.
Oh,
Is
I know
he?
not
he's.
good.
I have written down old for a rookie, but I can't remember what his exact age is. I just know he's older.
He was a sixth-year senior. So yeah, he's
Jesus.
old.
He's 24.
24. So maybe it's 24 going on 25.
Must be.
He'll probably be
Um,
25 by the time the season
Right,
starts.
right.
That's your issue. Though he is wearing number 32.
Yeah, that's what he
So
wore in college.
unfortunately for him, he won't be good
Will
because of
not.
that.
Yeah, that's immediately. Moving on to the last name that I recognize on this list, Zach Evans out of Ole
Respect the
Miss.
other Evans.
Oh, I mean, I knew who Ethan Evans was. I might remember the Packers a bunch because O'Donnell's old. But Zach Evans, Miller seems like he wants to cook with this guy.
Yeah,
I didn't
go
watch
ahead.
him, so
Oh,
Now, this is who I was alluding to earlier when I
Really?
said the
Mhm.
Rams RB1, because Zach Evans is the ideal wide zone running back. Great vision, really good burst, fantastic contact balance. He can cut on a dime. He's really explosive, makes dudes miss in the second and third level. The only issue with him is if you ask him to do anything when you throw the ball, he will not. He's kind of like Khalil Herbert in that sense. Like, obviously, I hate one-to-one comps, but they're similar. He's very similar to Khalil Herbert, who, if I'm not mistaken, was taken in the 5th round by Chicago. He was a day 3 pick, so, you know, a similar landing spot. He was my RB11. I had a 4th round grade on him, so getting him in the 6th round is sick. I really like him. I think he's going to overtake Cam Akers pretty quickly in LA, assuming he's healthy or stays healthy. He doesn't have like injury issues, but you know, you have to give that disclaimer because people are idiots. And if something, God forbid, happens to him 8 months down the line, someone will come back to this video and say he hasn't played a down yet when he, like, I don't know, broke his arm in training camp or something, knock on wood.
And Geek, any major thoughts about this?
sorry, everything just broke. That was so weird. Okay. I don't know. There was just a loud screeching noise in my headset. I don't know what the fuck that was. Everything is terrible. No, Zach Evans. I don't have an issue with it. Miller is right. He's a good fit, but I don't know. I'm trying to. I wanted to cook and name a random running back and say they were better, but off the top of my head, I don't know who is still available at this point. So we're just gonna say it was fine and that The Rams are silly though, so Cam Akers will be the only running back to get snaps the entire year. Even if he gets hurt, he'll just be out there on crutches because the Rams is goofy. They wanted to trade him, didn't, and now he's going to touch the ball every snap.
We
He's
gotta
the only
remember,
player
too,
on the
Kyron
offense.
Williams is also in that running back room.
I said what I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cooking with Cam Akers, okay? Let me cook. Let me cook with Cam. Since Cam Newton won't return my calls, I got to cook with a different Cam.
Not Cam
Yeah.
Hayward. He actually cooks.
Nah.
No.
No.
Their last 3 picks, I don't really have much to say
They
about
took
any
a
of them.
punter. Let's
Took a
go.
punter, Rams W. Picked an actual
A
important
D2
position.
punter at a Wingate.
It'll be generational. Trust.
Yep.
It's so
But
funny that you
yeah,
say that. Because in the video that I just got done recording, I swear this will be the last time I bring it up, I made a comment and I was like, you know what? He's a 7th round punter. He's cool. I don't know a whole lot about him. I'm sure he'll be fine. And then I said, I'm sure he'll be fine, but he's not going to be Johnny Hecker. And then I paused for a minute and I was like, now somebody's going to find this video 4 years down the line when he's a 4-time All-Pro and start a TikTok at it with, he's not going to be Johnny Hecker. And then some crazy trap music will come in and it'll just be him hitting bombs.
yeah. But I feel like that
Uh,
wraps us up on the Rams, right?
No,
So
Jason Taylor and Desjuan Johnson.
okay, what about him?
Jason
Go.
Taylor.
Jason Taylor the
What?
second.
No, go.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
Ron,
he's
right now, immediately.
it's
Okay.
Jason Taylor the second, 7th round. He's a good rangy safety. It's just he does not give a flying fuck about run defense. Like Eddie Jackson levels of does not care, except instead of making business decisions, he just kind of jogs, which is bad. But like in coverage, he's awesome. Triggers on the ball really well. Gets really physical with receivers and tight ends and is able to make a lot of really good plays. So if you play him as like a deep safety, he can cook, or you can bring him up in the box and kind of have him like read the quarterback and kind of jump around in the middle of the field. And then Desjuan Johnson, Mr. Irrelevant. How dare you almost skip over him?
Okay.
He's just a productive hybrid edge. He's fluid, he's quick, he's slippery, he's got a good motor. He's just a small dude and doesn't have much of a pass rushing tool belt, which is an issue.
He's also edge 5 for the Rams just in this draft class.
Yeah, the Rams basically
let
said,
alone anyone else that was on their roster, so he will not make the 53 man.
well, I don't know, because he's, like I said, he was a tweener. He was a hybrid guy, so they might see him as an interior defensive lineman, have him bulk up a bit, and keep him for
But they
that.
still have like 6 of those.
You can never have
Yeah.
too much depth. With how bad their defense
Except
is,
you can, because you can only have 53 men on the roster.
I don't know. It's funny, though, because Desjuan Johnson, in a way, reminds me of Aditamiwa Adebare. Not in the sense that he's quick or nearly as good as him, just that, like, he projects in the same type of role where you play him on the edge on early downs as a run defender, and then kick him inside on passing downs. By the way,
We took over an hour to talk about a shitty Rams draft class. I'm
an hour
cutting
to
you
cover
off,
3 teams.
and we're moving on.
First of all, not shitty. Second of all, I just want to point out Desjuan Johnson was edge 34 for me.
Good
Okay,
for
since
him.
we're essentially just grading this draft because they signed nobody, I'm gonna go A-. Love the draft. Very, very good. There's only 1 or 2 picks where I'm just like, bad.
See,
I think it's an
I
The
gave
draft
him a B
class, essentially.
plus. I think A minus is a little generous just because of like the Warren McClendon pick. But
Yeah, you would.
I'm just going to B. I don't know. There comes a point. I get that their D line wasn't that good. There also comes a point where maybe don't just draft guys you're going to cut. That's kind of a waste of time. Maybe, just maybe, every other position on your roster also sucks.
yeah,
So maybe consider helping out other parts of your roster, you weirdos. Not just the D line.
yeah.
Because they drafted, what, 60 linemen? promise you, maybe 4 of them will make the roster. Maybe, probably just 3. Because they already have defensive linemen on the team. Aaron Donald exists. Greg Gaines exists. Those are the only 2 guys I can think of off the top of my head.
Gaines
The Rams.
is no longer a Los Angeles Ram, but Cook.
What?
He left in free agency.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I only know about that because he was in Madden and I signed him in the last league after the first year. Yeah.
I didn't know he left.
Yeah, that
my
was
bad.
But I agree, that was my big complaint with
But,
their draft, is the fact that they could have targeted like linebacker, even though I know it was a shitty class. You still could have taken a swing on one, or you could have went harder at receiver or anything else. You know,
running back, tight end, O-line. Fuck, draft
corners.
2 quarterbacks, corners, safeties.
Yeah, like Keely Ringo would have fit great here when he had that big slide.
I mean, JL Skinner. Give me him to any team ever. Mostly just don't let him go to the Broncos. That makes me so sad.
It makes me... Well...
I have to hate him now.
How dare you?
Them's the rules. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
Yeah. On the bright side, though, I know it took us
But
an
in this
hour,
case,
but
I
that
made the
was
rule.
the biggest draft in the NFL.
Fuck. I'm breaking things.
We drafted 14 players.
Yeah, all right.
Who next?
So let's talk about the team that should end up being the worst team in the league this year with the Arizona Cardinals, the team that most likely hold next year's number 1 overall pick. They didn't really do much for free agency either. If any of you can think of one that you really want to talk about, there's a lot of just smaller depth signings for them. Zach Pascal is like the biggest one. Him, and they re-signed Greg Dortch. On a couple of quarters in Fenton and Chris Boyd.
Kei'trel White.
Yeah,
Kei'trel White.
I don't know why that's not on this ESPN list, but okay. Oh, it is. Okay.
ESPN is ass.
Kei'trel White has been like, I guess we'll talk about Kei'trel White because he's
solid.
probably their biggest signing.
Yeah.
He's been solid. He was, I believe, pretty good for the Eagles last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
So that's good. They needed linebacker help, and we'll talk about their draft in a bit here. But that's a good signing. They got him pretty cheap, it seems to be. Yeah, I mean, if you guys look at the list and you want to bring one up, you can. But
they got the best special teamer in the NFL, and who will maybe end up being cornerback 1 for them because I don't know who they have at corner. Chris Boyd. Yeah, my guy. W for him. Good for him. Go do great things in Arizona. I don't know.
I think looking at free agency, the bigger story for the Cardinals is their losses. Because you look at Byron Murphy leaving, J.J. Watt retired, Zach Allen left. Yeah, those 3 really crippled their defense. Granted, none of them wasn't great to start. Yeah. And their defense was really bad.
Buda Baker wants out, and
D-Hop wants out now. They're basically going to be Kyler and a bunch of high school kids next year.
Yeah, and they didn't really sign anybody on the offensive line that really moves me. Still don't have a fullback, and they didn't draft one. So what are you gonna do there?
Draft picks over a mid coach.
Yep. Yeah, literally lost draft picks because they were like, in order to get Jonathan Gannon, we must tamper. We have to tamper.
Yes.
Listen, everybody, we need to tamper.
Gannon or die.
He's elite. He's elite. We have to get him. He's the only one that wants to coach Kyler. We must do whatever we can.
Coach
they also released Rodney Hudson. So their O-line was bad, and they just released their best O-lineman. And Rodney Hudson's actually good. So I don't really...
They're probably just like,
but like,
rebuilding.
Why release him? He's good, and he was just under contract. That's such a... I don't know. Like, I get you want to blow it up, but fuck, you have to have a roster, maybe. But, like, you also still have to have a roster. And all of this just backs up my point that Kyler Murray will not play it down next year. Not one.
Probably shouldn't, yeah.
I've been saying this the whole time, and he just shouldn't now. There is not... When D-Hop's gone, he's not going to have anybody to throw to either. Just stay home, play Call of Duty.
We'll talk about who he has to throw to here in a few minutes.
Stay home, play Call of Duty.
But I think without further ado, we can move into the draft class. Unless either you
Yeah.
have another something to talk about.
Mhm.
So obviously they traded out of the third overall pick, got some assets, and then traded back up. Using I forget if they traded their own pick or the Texans pick or somebody. They did a good job with whatever the trade details were. I don't remember
They
specifically.
didn't
what it
use
was.
any picks next year, if I recall correctly. Me and Patrick had this argument.
Yeah,
They just used
I think.
the 12th pick from this year.
Oh,
So
that's
the
right. Yeah.
Texans picked this
Right.
from that
Yes.
class.
Yeah.
So they
This is
still
good.
have two
This
firsts
was good
next
value.
year.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is a good
it was-
value from them.
Yeah.
A good trade, and they still got the guy who they would have taken at 3 had they stuck probably. Paris
Oh, yeah.
Johnson,
yeah.
who
Yep.
I'm sure we all have kind of similar feelings on. Project left tackle. If you're gonna draft a tackle that high, you want him to be a guy with like this crazy ceiling and athletic upside that Paris Johnson has. He has a great frame. He's huge. He's athletic. He's got all the traits that you want. He just is a 1-year starter in college, so he's not fully there yet.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna end up being a day 1 starter just because of how bad their offensive line is. We'll see how that plays out for him. I don't know if he's ready to be a day 1 starter yet, but I don't think this is a bad pick, especially being able to trade down and then back up and keep 2 firsts next year and still get the guy you would have taken had you stuck. I think that's a W. So this is a good pick. I like it.
So I'm cool with him being a day 1 starter because Kyler's not there. It doesn't hurt the franchise. He gets to go learn how to play tackle at the NFL level without there being any risk to your team.
Yeah.
Really, you know you're gonna be bad. It doesn't matter. And that's the biggest thing here is that's the guy Tyler wanted. So
yeah,
good on them for actually listening to their quarterback.
Yes.
Not Packers season over here. Where we actually have our quarterbacks over here apparently, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Jake's mad. He's huffy. Little guy is hangy.
Hypocrisy from the NFL world when Monty Austinforth listens to his quarterback versus when Ryan Poles listens to his is crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
This
Justin
affects
Fields.
Paris Johnson's legacy.
Yeah, Justin Fields asked for Velus Jones last year, and everyone slandered the Bears up, down, left, and right.
Well,
even when that became public.
Well,
And
I
then,
didn't, but fuck
I know
you.
you didn't, but everyone else.
I also
did.
didn't care about. I'm sorry, it's a 3rd round pick. I don't care. I'm gonna be honest. You're just picking guys, man. I don't care.
No, but genuinely speaking, it was a fantastic pick. And then when you factor in the trade that they made to get assets and then go back up, there's a real world where they're picking twice in the top 5 next year, maybe twice in the top 3.
Yep.
So
I don't know about that, but yeah,
twice in the top 2.
I don't know, depending on what the Texans
twice in the top 1.
No, I'll put it this way: they're probably about guaranteed to get Marvin Harrison Jr., which would be terrifying.
And Caleb Williams. I 100% expect the Cardinals to trade out of 1 if they get it.
I would hope.
Dude,
there's so much value on the table, but I still think there's a chance they go Caleb. I still think there's a chance they go Caleb and trade Kyler.
Okay, well the question is,
I think that world exists.
Who are you going to get more for, Kyler Murray or
You're
Caleb
getting more
Williams?
for the number 1 pick.
All right, so why would you just do that?
Because maybe this is the thought process I think of. You get to shed Kyler's money, which every team likes to save money. You get younger and less injured. Because Kyler will still be coming off an ACL, whereas, knock on wood and hope for Caleb, he will be perfectly healthy going into this time next year, hopefully. Like that would be the thought process, and if you're the Cardinals, you have to consider it.
Yeah.
But also, I think it really comes down to, first off, whether they stick with Gannon for a second year, because they're the Cardinals and you never know. But if they do, Gannon likes Kyler, and that's what they'll do. If they don't, you might let your new regime just go new.
Yeah.
But either way, they're in a great spot because of that trade. So good for them.
Yeah. Johnson pick good. And then in the second, I believe they traded down again, didn't they? Get BJ Ojulari? Or was
I
that just
believe
one of the picks that they
so.
got to
I don't
trade
know.
down?
I'm not
Oh
sure.
But
no,
either way,
I don't.
either
know.
way, they drafted BJ Ojulari in the second round. Who I had a top 10 edge in the class. Blake Miller had a top 10 edge in the class for sure. I know you I know you definitely did. I'm sure you did too, Geek. I don't know. We didn't talk extensively about our boards. But top 10 edge in the class, second round, good value. Guy who could have gone in the first, really. I like BJ Ojulari. I think they needed pass rushing up. They lost Zach Allen. They lost JJ Watt. They needed somebody on that defensive line. So good pick. Like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was a great year to get your second edge. Like, this edge
Yep.
class is really deep, but I don't think there were a lot of, like, true alphas. Like, I think Tyree Wilson and Will Anderson and Nolan Smith would be alphas. But outside of that, I think there's some debate. And out of the guys that I would say are um, surefire edge twos, BJ Ojulari is probably the most complete day one because he already has such a sick understanding of his pass rushing tool belt, when to deploy what move, how to use it, how to set up counters, all that kind of stuff. Like, all of the mental aspect of the game is there for him already. It's just his athletic upside is incredibly limited. So, if he had better tools, he could be a legit dude. It's just because he doesn't have that, I think he's going to be held back in the NFL. But that being said, probably a dude that's still going to get you like 8 sacks in a year. Um, Thanks to just that IQ and his ability to bend the corner and his length that he displays. I will say I don't love him as a run defender, but I feel like that's, with how smart he is, I think that's teachable. I think you can really help him understand that stuff. So I'm not
Agreed.
super worried about it. But yeah, I mean, like Jake said, he was my edge 6. I had an early second round grade on him. I loved him. I thought BJ Larry was awesome. So I think this is a fantastic pick for the Cardinals.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Just reiterating,
I
echoing.
mean, yeah, BJ is great, and dude, their team is so bad. So edge rush help. I mean, he is going to be edge 1 this year, which that'll be fun for
Most likely.
them. I wonder how that works out. Maybe he can surprise us,
He should
but
probably be okay. Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's a great pick for them.
Mhm.
They need all the help they can get at this point.
Yeah, and then the third they got another guy at a position they have nobody yet with Garrett Williams, who I was a big fan of.
Yeah,
I
corner
don't
1.
remember. I don't remember Miller's thoughts on
I
Garrett
didn't watch
Williams.
him before the draft.
Didn't.
I
That's
didn't
right.
have
That's
him
right.
ranked. But after the draft, oh my god, I missed out.
Dude,
He's
I'm
awesome. I
telling you,
love Garrett
Garrett Williams is
Williams.
awesome. I
Yeah.
love this dude.
Uh,
He will be a very solid corner for them.
yeah,
Will be a
and
very solid corner for them.
the best part is the defense he played in at Syracuse is the same shit they're going to be running in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
that
Yes.
Fangio
Definitely.
style quarters off zone coverage shit, and he's perfect in that. He's super
Mm-hmm.
smart. His instincts are off the charts. He's super reactive. He reads receivers super well. His footwork's good. He's agile. He's disciplined. Like, he's going to be the number one corner on their team off rip. He might not get, the spot right away because it's very rare that you see a third rounder starting as CB1 in week 1. But by the end of the season, they're going to be walking out pretty damn confident in this kid. I love Garrett Williams. I think this was the perfect spot for him. And I think, again, we'll talk about him here in a couple minutes, but I think Arizona got their 2 starting boundary corners in this draft for this season at least.
There you
go. We're all big
I,
Garrett Williams fans, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Epic.
Yeah. Next, they took Michael Wilson, Stanford, on 3 pick 94. Another. Cardinals cooked. They're cooking.
Big dub.
That's another W. Big fan of Michael Wilson. I believe he was. I don't know exactly, but he's definitely in my top 10. I believe. Yeah, I think he was in my top 10. I think he might have been my honorable mention. I forget. I don't have my list pulled up, but
remember.
He's a good receiver. And again, like, their receiving room is kind of poopy right now. If DeAndre Hopkins leaves, it's Marquise Brown and it's nobody. It's like Greg
let's
Dortch.
not pretend
and-
he can be a wide receiver 1.
Oh.
Marquise
No.
Brown, we've seen that before.
Marquise
He
Brown,
cannot
okay,
be
yeah.
a 1.
Yeah.
No, he can't. He can't
Also,
be a
let's
one.
respect friend of the show, Nicole's favorite player, Greg Dortch. He's there too.
Oh no, I like Greg Dortch, but he's not wide
Yeah.
receiver 1 in the
Also,
NFL.
he said
Like,
Greg Dortch, so I
You
don't
did
know
say
why
Greg
you're.
Dortch.
Oh my
yeah,
bad.
I did
That's
say
my
Greg
bad.
Dortch.
you just ignore Jake so you can yell more.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
you
but I
ignore
think
both of us so you can yell more.
it's
So
true.
That's kind of
Geek
That's
will zone
kinda
out, and
how-
then he'll be like, "I don't know what you said, but you're wrong."
right.
yeah. And normally I'm right, so it's okay. No.
Hey,
I mean,
whoa,
this is an average episode of Run the North, okay?
Yeah.
Geek's over here. Pretend this is a computer screen, right? Hey, Geek, the sky's blue. What? The fuck are you talking
See,
about?
no, that's not that. None of that is accurate.
Sorry, I'm
And-
just
and
confused.
I don't
Justin
act that
Jefferson-
way.
You're right. That's how
Justin Jefferson jerseys are on sale on NFL.com right now.
See, now that's real.
Right.
That's real. I'm out
NFL
here.
NFL rumors tweeted this thing and just like, I don't get it, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm sorry. I try to find interesting topics.
I'm sorry.
It
This
had
account
nothing
with
to
like
do with
3
what we're
followers
talking
just
about.
said Justin Jefferson's white. What are we talking about?
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I
Well,
will
then-
get
and then
more
the-
excited
then
to
the-
repeat the
then
same
the-
things
and
we've
then the
been talking
occasional-
about for
And
6
then the
weeks.
occasional, he'll stand up and just see that.
True. Dude, okay. Here, I'm going to be 100% honest with you right now. I don't care about the next, 6 episodes of this show. I just don't. We're talking about the off season, which is all we've talked about. All off season. We're gonna grade these drafts. Everybody knows our opinions on the players that matter already. I don't. I just.
Breaking news: Geek doesn't care about Run the North.
That is.
If
I
you're a
mean, I guess
Vikings
if you,
fan, please leave a comment down below. We are searching for a third member. Now that I have access to OBS, Geek has.
That's true.
No, I'm kidding. He still has to edit
I
and
think they
upload
forget
everything.
I own everything. So
Hey, I am the social media manager.
cool. You can keep the TikTok, but don't worry. I'll be sending the cease and desist because I own the name. Thanks.
I'm
I
also
wouldn't
here.
do it.
You forget I own this. This is my show. Not really. This is our show, but fuck you.
Can we go back to
I'll kick
talking
both
about
of you
Michael
off.
Wilson now?
Give me Grayson and Steven. We're taking over.
You
That
and
was-
Grayson on a podcast.
that would be-
a
You and Grayson
nightmare.
on a podcast would be quite literally.
And poor Steven would be scared.
What do you mean?
Steven would probably speak a total of 2 words per
Right.
episode.
That's what we
'cause-
let Jake do now. What do you mean? The
is
Packers
not
fans
true.
don't get a talk. This is how it goes.
Your only chance to get
It's
3
for the
people that
show
would
without
actually
me.
speak in that situation is to bring in Hammy, because that man, he loves to talk. Respectfully, of
valid.
course. I also love to talk, but
A
we
Hammy
all do.
Grayson Geek podcast would. That's 6-hour episodes, most likely. That is
Dude, Jake, if
that
you
would
weren't
just-
here, that's what me and Miller would do every week, and you know
Alright,
it.
Yeah,
Can we-
you're
can we-
welcome.
Can we talk about Michael
To
Wilson
our
now?
listeners, you're welcome. Michael Wilson, yeah, good pick. I like it. I already
I
said
mean,
what I said about
a
Michael
lot,
Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, to me, Michael Wilson, I had a pure second round grade on him. Like I said with Puka, if Michael Wilson didn't have injury issues, he might have been a top 2 receiver in this class for me. I fucking love Michael Wilson. He was my wide receiver 6. Dude's a sick run blocker. He's tough. He's physical. His release is off the charts. He's a savvy route runner. He's got good size. He tracks the ball well. Genuinely speaking, the only issue with him is his health. I think he is an ideal wide receiver 2 long term. And like I said, if they get Marvin next year, then holy shit, that duo would be fucking absurd.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, he also wasn't productive. That's the other knock against him, but I could give a fuck less about college production.
True.
So he's not productive, and he's often injured.
Those two
Great
things
setup
do
to
go
be a-
hand in hand.
That's such a great setup to be a great NFL player.
Listen, when he's on the
Absolutely.
field, he
True.
cooks. He also went crazy at the Senior Bowl.
Shrine Bowl.
I can't.
Think.
Is that the bowl game he was at? Whichever
Maybe.
bowl game he was at, he cooked.
Yeah, whatever he
went
did.
crazy.
Yeah.
Some kind of bowl.
Reese's Bowl,
Cereal
maybe?
bowl.
The Super Bowl? Might have been there.
The cereal bowl.
Who
I don't
knows
know.
with the Chiefs receiver core last year? He might have been at the Super Bowl.
Put
Yeah,
on a
the Madden,
jersey, and
Travis Kelce was
Andy Reid was like,
there.
okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay. That's
You
cool.
got hands? Okay, go stand over there while we throw it to Travis. Okay.
Yeah.
In the fourth, on Gaines. Just listed as an O lineman on this website. I don't know what he
He's a
actually
guard.
is.
I know nothing about him. Miller,
I
take
didn't
over.
watch
Very
him till
little about
after the
John
draft.
Gaines,
He's
too.
just an athletic lineman. That's all he is.
Well, the
Will
Cardinals
say,
don't
though-
have any
I was
linemen,
gonna say,
so
will
there
say
you
he
go.
will probably compete for a starting job.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, the only interior
likely
lineman
would.
I know is Will Hernandez, so
Yeah.
go get it, I guess, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Another pick that we probably wouldn't have too strong thoughts on. They took Clayton. They were the ones who took Clayton Tune.
They
He'll
did.
be one, not
in the
in the
fifth.
draft class, but he will start week 1. I'm calling it.
I would hope so.
I personally
If he
don't
can't
have
beat
too
out
strong
Colt
thoughts on
McCoy-
him. Yeah, that's tough. I think Clayton Tune could actually see playing time if Kyler doesn't play this
Yeah,
year.
no, he's fine.
Like, that's the craziest
If he
part.
can't
He's
beat
fine.
out Colt McCoy, then
Listen,
release
Clayton
him right now.
Tune is the ideal backup quarterback. Like, he's already got the experience. He doesn't turn the ball over. He likes to spread the wealth. He's smart. He's pretty poised. If you fix it, like, his mechanics need a little bit of work, but if you clean those up, Josh McCown.
Journeyman
Very
backup.
high praise from Miller
Yeah,
football
journeyman
here.
backup, hell
Can
yeah.
be Josh McCown.
But hey, who doesn't love Josh
Rough.
McCown?
You're
Bears
welcome,
fans,
Clayton
that's it.
Tune.
Yeah. No faith.
Listen, if it makes you feel any better, my
Yeah.
comp for him right now is Jeff Driscoll. So I think Josh McCown is high
Ouch.
praise.
God damn. God damn.
Jake Locker.
Jake
Then
lost
their
that
next,
goat.
their next fifth round pick was Owen Papo.
Owen Papo.
He's linebacker. He's good.
Fast
He's okay.
fella.
It's a good pick. An
Listen,
Owen Papo fan,
this
Geek.
fella was born to play special teams. Like, listen, he is...
Special teams he probably will play.
He's
for now.
fast, and he likes to hit people.
Uh,
What more could you want from a special teamer?
Got him
Need
and
a-
Chris Boyd.
The only problem
Yo.
is he has
That-
no idea how to play linebacker.
and
Isaiah
it's almost
Simmons
like they
does.
drafted him as a linebacker. They did not walk up and say, special teamer
They're
out of
drafting the dude.
Auburn.
No, we're gonna be completely honest, Owen. You will not be seeing a snap defensively. We're going to only
Not
make
right
you a
away,
runner.
but listen, his athletic tools are sick. If you can get him to learn how to play linebacker, could be a cool piece.
Or they could have taken a real linebacker. That
You
was an
also-
option here as well.
Okay, but how many real linebackers were in this class?
2, and one of them was still on the board here. So
Josh McCannon is afraid of little people.
It's true.
I don't believe that because he likes Kyler, and
Who
I'm
says he
pretty sure
likes
Ivan Pace
Kyler?
is bigger. He did.
It's all a facade.
This video of
secretly
Jonathan
wants
Gannon
Brock
meeting Kyler for the
Osweiler.
first time, and he just turns around and sprints away from him.
He just screams, "Little person!"
Kyler walks up, he's like, "Yo, what's up, man?" And he just turns the other way
Jonathan
and just books
Gannon
it.
definitely uses the M word.
Joe Clark was their next pick.
Epic pick.
He's a corner.
This is, I'm assuming, the
That's
guy
what
that
I
Miller was
got.
referencing. We said they got their
Mhm.
2 starting boundary corners for this year.
Yeah.
I liked Kei'trel Clark.
Mhm.
This is a W.
Yeah, no, I mean, okay, so the big weakness with Clark is that he's small, not THT small, but still small for like an NFL boundary corner. But like I mentioned earlier, with Darius Williams and then other guys like Duke Shelley and DJ Reed that have played on the boundary in specific schemes. And I know Shelley isn't a career.
No,
boundary guy.
I'm meaning he's just as small as THT. I'm not counting 5'10" and 5'9" as a big enough difference
Okay.
to not say he's not THT small.
Either way,
Tiny.
okay, Clark is also
He's a little man.
Okay.
What the hell?
Clark
They could have had the other little man.
Clark is also a hell of a lot further in his development than
Sure.
THT, in my opinion. Like, I thought he was better than THT. So, anyways, like I was saying, you see those guys like Shelley and Reed and Williams who have similar builds that have played this off coverage role. You're looking at a guy who is super athletic, super smart. He's twitchy, he's fluid, all that good stuff. I mean, him and Williams by the end of the season, I expect to be the two starting boundary corners for the Cardinals if they don't kick Clark into the slot, which is definitely also still possible. He's physical enough to do that. It's just I think he's good enough to play on the outside too.
Valid. Somehow we have to speed this up even more. We've
Well,
almost
the
taken an
Niners have a
hour for the
really small,
Cardinals
shitty
too.
draft class, so we can fly through
Yeah,
them.
yeah, the Niners will be. They didn't
Yeah,
really
we
sign anybody
gotta,
big,
we gotta.
so
Yeah, and then
yeah, we do have to
Dante
speed this thing up.
Steele's good chess piece because hybrid tweener defensive lineman.
Yeah, and they need defensive linemen, so
Yeah.
good pick. All right, Cardinals offseason. What do we think, gentlemen? A minus. I'm gonna go A minus again.
I'm going A. They set themselves up for next year very well. More for
Yeah.
next offseason than for like next season. But next season
They
was a
got guys
wash anyways.
who have starting
So.
capability for them. They picked at good positions of need.
Mm-hmm.
They traded back at a bunch of assets. I don't think they did really they made any really drastic mistakes in the draft at all.
The only mistake they made was bringing in Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, that's a whole
Valid.
different conversation. Is what Gannon will do with this team now? But
Watch him be the greatest coach in NFL history just because Miller talked so much shit. He is Belichick 2.0.
So, 49ers had a really small class, and
Hold on. They do have a free agent that matters.
But I'm saying we're going to move them to last because they have the smallest draft class and will be the quickest to talk about in the next two. So we'll move on and talk about the Seattle Seahawks. So, starting off with their free agency, I do pull it up, but I do not remember anything huge happening for them.
Lineman that played for the Lions.
They signed Bobby Wagner.
They also did bring back B-Wags.
The jersey swaps for B-Wags are so good.
I don't know
so real.
How people are doing this. Technology's come a long way.
Very much. They got Dre'Mont Jones from Denver.
That's a W.
Detroit,
That's a W.
Yeah, that was a big one. Julian Love, the safety who played for the Giants, that the Giants hated so much for some reason. Jaron Reed, former Packer. Jaron. Yeah. Jake, name how say. Name how say.
Jaron Reed?
Yeah.
Jaron Reed.
Okay. They brought in Devin Bush.
Guys. Must understand that they made the best move of the offseason with their free agent signings.
Oh no.
Want to know one guy that they decided to bring back?
I'm kicking you out of Run the North if you finish this sentence.
They re-signed Drew Lock.
They also re-signed Geno Smith. Yay!
They re-signed their starter and Drew Lock, their backup and Geno Smith.
Okay.
Wonderful job. They cooked.
You're so lucky.
Sorry,
this
I had to
isn't
get
a
that out of the way.
server.
I had to get that out of the way. Sorry.
The only option was to completely remove him from the group.
That would make me really sad.
I thought about doing it. No, if this was like a Discord server where I could disconnect you, you were gonna go away for a minute.
No, Draymond.
Hey,
really good.
Did resign Drew Lock. That was an actual thing that happened, so I'm allowed to talk about it. But Draymond Jones was a good signing.
We haven't talked about any other re-signings for any team ever, so no, you weren't allowed to talk about it.
So are we missing anybody that they signed, or can we move to the draft?
I think we can move to the draft.
We can move to the draft pretty easily here. So obviously with their first pick, they had the first pick that kind of made us go on draft night when we in the live stream, but I think we all kind of came around to it. Picked Devon Witherspoon, 5th overall. Good. He's a really good physical corner. Exactly the kind of guy Pete Carroll likes. They do a good job of developing corners. We saw this with Tariq Woolen. He's going to be a scary duo with him and Tariq Woolen. Just two big physical guys. Really just going to get in your... Not big, sorry.
Yeah. Witherspoon's a little on the shorter side.
Physical guys who will just kind of get in your face, press you, knock you off balance. Probably get called for defensive pass interference a good bit as a rookie. Whatever. I like Devon Witherspoon.
He's a disciplined corner. I don't think you're going to see a lot of penalties out of him. Yeah, no, Witherspoon is awesome. I love it. If it wasn't for Christian Gonzalez being the best corner prospect I've watched not named Sauce Gardner, even then it's comparable. He would have been my CB1. Like in almost any other class, he's CB1. He's awesome. Love the fact that he's willing to play the run. Love the fact that he's not afraid to get physical, not afraid to get dirty. Good ball skills, just a really good corner. And like Jake said, perfect fit for what Pete Carroll wants in a corner. So it made me scratch my head in the moment because I was so hung up on Gonzalez. But in hindsight, it makes sense.
It still makes me scratch my head.
You also were lower on Witherspoon than we were.
But no, my big thing is, well, it's exactly what Pete Carroll looks for in a corner. Not in a corner one, which is what he's drafting.
Unless
Pete Carroll's corner one is supposed to be long and lanky. Bullen's not a man corner. Pete Carroll has always had a bigger man corner on one side and a more slot guy on the other. Witherspoon's not big enough to play the Richard Sherman role.
Right.
Bullen might be, but he's not good in man. He's not good enough in man to be that guy. You know who fit that mold beautifully?
Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez. So I don't know if Pete Carroll forgot the defense he runs or if he's doing something different. I don't hate the Witherspoon pick. I have come around to it, but the whole perfect scheme fit isn't accurate. At least based on what his scheme has been for 10 years, which is what I have to go with.
I'm just looking at it as more as a physical corner.
Oh yeah,
like
that all makes sense,
sure.
and I don't have a problem with that. It's just more of to me, it still feels like they need a corner one. I know that's not a real definition, but like a true big man corner. They don't have that unless. Oh, how big is he? Hold on.
Who?
I mean, unless they want to make Kobe Bryant that. But that
Kobe's
does
like
not
6'3",
fit.
6'4"?
No, Kobe's only 6'2".
Really?
So,
I thought he was taller.
So
Okay.
like he still doesn't really fit that, but I mean, maybe they just do it anyways because he's fucking Kobe. He's got that name. He's got that name. Got that Mamba mentality.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Obviously they had 2 first-round picks this year. They spent their second one on Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Such a good pick. Fuck him.
Insane pick, man.
Gotta hate it.
I'm mad.
But you gotta love it.
Yep.
That's a sick trio.
I hate it, but
Sick
it's good
trio.
pick.
Yeah. I mean, JSN is just pretty much always open. That's kind of his thing. And he's your wide receiver 3 right now. And that is a very good thing. If Jackson Smith-Njigba is your wide receiver 3, that is a very good thing. Geno Smith just got re-signed. He's playing on a new deal. It's going to be a very, very good passing attack for this team. If they had a better tight end, that'd be phenomenal. But, Noah Fant's not the worst option in the world. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all pretty much in consensus about this. I'll let one of you two take the floor if you'd like, but great pick. JSN's fantastic, and him being wide receiver 3 is a very comfortable thing coming into next season.
Yeah, I really like the idea. I can't remember the fucking coach that said it, and it's one of the best coaches of all time, whoever it was. He said you need to build your receiver room like a basketball team, and that everybody needs to have a different dominant trait that complements everybody else, right? In the Seahawks receiver room is like the perfect example of that, where you have DK as your big X ball winner, 50-50 guy, whatever you want to call him. You have Tyler Lockett as somebody you can just send on a fly route and chuck it up to. And then JSN is your shifty slot that is always open and is going to be your quarterback's best friend. And even though he's competing with two other big names, it would not shock me to see JSN very high in the Rookie of the Year race, because I feel like the fact that he is always open is going to result in him being a lot more productive than you'd expect. Depending on what the quarterbacks do this year, because obviously that's what matters. Like, if Bryce has a crazy year, it doesn't matter. Or if Bryce even has a good year, it doesn't matter. Or if Stroud has a good year, it doesn't matter. But
I really think Rookie of the Year comes down to one of the quarterbacks or Bajan, and that's really it.
Yeah.
Fair.
Because the quarterbacks, you don't even have to have a great rookie year.
Yeah.
You don't even really have to have that good of one.
You just have
a mid-rookie year, and you will win it over the greatest receiver rookie year of all time. So it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, JSN will not win it just because they hate receivers.
I think his name will be in the conversation.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But by the fans, yes. By the crew that votes on it, no.
No one gives a fuck about them. They're all morons.
Well, that's to be fair, that is the group that matters when it comes to voting on the award.
Let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real.
Let me cook.
Yeah. I know more than the professionals. That's what I'm trying to say here.
I agree.
I know more than your favorite ESPN personality. They just won't put me on the air because I'm too controversial.
I don't know who's on ESPN. Where's Shannon Sharp?
Okay, ESPN. I'll take second.
Is he?
Shannon Sharp's on Fox.
Oh, he's on Fox. Okay. Then you know what?
One.
Yeah, Miller number one then. Yeah. Fox apparently has all the cool people. So
the problem is, big college offense won't let me on let me on air to talk about fullbacks. They won't let me spread my propaganda because they secretly want every offense to be a recreation of Cliff Kingsbury's. But Kyle Shanahan and I are fighting them. We have meetings every Tuesday.
We have meetings every
Tuesday.
Yeah.
We record on Tuesdays.
Why do you think I'm always late?
Why not get Kyle on the show?
He refuses.
Dick?
He doesn't like Jake.
Tough. That makes sense though. The Niners-Packers rivalry. I get it.
He said he thinks if he came on, it would make Jake cry, and he doesn't want to embarrass him like that. He likes him, but doesn't like him, but he also doesn't hate him.
That's bad.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Derek Hall, do we care?
Yeah, it was a good pick.
Okay.
He's another one of those guys that's going to be a sick Robin to somebody's Batman. I know I keep overusing that term, but I don't care. I'm a nerd, and I love that that's a
So he is every edge in this class. Got it. Moving. Zach Charbonnet. Hate it.
Why?
Ken Walker, good.
Okay, you need an RB2.
You don't need an RB2 that's going to be on the field as much or more than your RB1. That's just such a waste.
The NFL
I hate it.
The NFL runs a backfield by committee pretty much all the way across the league. That's just how teams are ran now.
Except they don't, though.
The only exceptions are the teams with like a top 3 back, and even then that's not always the case. The Browns had Chubb and Hunt. The Niners have CMC and Elijah Mitchell when he's healthy. Henry's like the only true running back that gets all
Henry
of the
and Dalvin Cook, because Madison gets less than 2 carries a game. And I was going to say Aaron Jones because I forget about A.J. Dillon because he's overrated. Jamal Williams basically became only running back in Detroit.
They had a bunch of bums in that running back room. There's a reason Jamal Williams isn't there, and they got 2 new running backs.
I mean, I would say that's fair, but Jamal Williams led the league in touchdowns last year. So
yeah, but they were all from like the 2-yard line.
Who cares?
No, that's not a Jamal Williams diss.
They're fake, and he actually had like 1 touchdown. Yeah, they're fake.
They were all fake.
Analytics nerd. Well, actually, if you look at EPA per rushing touchdown, he only had 3.
God. Shut up. But no I'm not saying having multiple running backs is bad. I'm saying actually doing it this way is bad. CMC and Elijah Mitchell don't get anywhere near the same amount of touches on the field, same amount of plays, and they never will because CMC is better. And I think Ken Walker does everything better than Zach Charbonnet. So I hate this. I think it's stupid because now Ken Walker is never going to be able to do anything. He's never going to have a 1,000-yard rushing season because he's never going to get the fucking carries. I hate it.
I'll put it this way. I
just want good players to be able to have production, and it'll never happen because they draft shitty players. I didn't like Charbonnet. So
okay, well, you're wrong for that, first of all.
They should have drafted Eric Gray.
No, they shouldn't have drafted a fucking running back.
I think the issue here is Seattle has PTSD from Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, and they think all of their running backs are going to die if they get too many carries, so they want to make sure they can split. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I legitimately think that might be part of the thought process here.
Maybe.
Is that they really want to keep Walker healthy, which if that's the case, I get it. From their perspective, this was another team and that was the thought process, I'd be like, why? It's not like he got hurt last year. But with Seattle's history, I kind of get it.
I
Plus,
gotta get it.
Charbonnet's skill set is very, very, very complementary to Ken Walker's. Like, yeah, Ken Walker's better. I'm not denying that. But they are a fantastic thunder and lightning duo. And Charbonnet is going to do, I don't know if I want to say more, but he's going to do a good bit on passing downs. And I think that's the other big thing, is Charbonnet's a fantastic receiving back. And to have that option out of the backfield, maybe I'm missing that Kenneth Walker had like 400 yards receiving last year. But I like how they pair up. Sure, taking a running back in the second round is early, I get it. And if it was a different running back, I'd probably be singing a different tune. But you know damn well I love Charbonnet. And I like the pairing.
Okay, bigger thing. I think they had way bigger needs than a
That I agree
backup
with,
running
too.
back. And
True. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you already have a great running back. You could have just waited.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
will say,
this was not important
like,
to
when
your team. This is
for
weird.
my video on draft grades, I gave this a B+ because I didn't like that they passed on interior offensive linemen for Charbonnet. Like,
Oh yeah, they could have had Osiris Torrance. Let me shame them.
I don't know, was Torrance on the board at that point?
Yeah, because he went at 59.
Oh, okay.
This was 52. So they
Okay.
could have had Torrance, and instead they took a backup. Ridiculous. I hate it. Bad process. Fuck the Seahawks.
He's a hater. Charbonnet better than his favorite player.
He knows it too.
Dalvin Cook sucks now, bud.
Dalvin Cook sucks. Zach Charbonnet is currently better.
As
than
of
Dalvin
right
Cook.
now, he's still in the NFC North, so he's still the best running back in the NFC North. Cope.
Yeah, just because Roshan Johnson hasn't taken a snap yet.
Yeah,
though,
okay. Anthony Bradford, they did address the interior of the offensive line. They stinkers.
Yeah, I
Stinky
don't.
poopy. Not only was this a reach, but this just reeks of, oh fuck, we forgot to draft a lineman. Who's there? And they just drafted the first one.
What you could have done? You could have taken Torrance and then a running back right here, and you would have. I wouldn't be such a hater.
You know what's really funny?
Oh man, I wonder if Geek likes Osiris Torrance.
Anthony Bradford is literally a poor man's Osiris Torrance.
That's the funniest part.
Like, he is the same.
They
cut from the
totally
same
forget.
cloth.
They probably thought they drafted Torrance already.
Yeah, John Snyder was just sitting there and he was just like, "Do we need? What about Osiris Torrance?" They're like, "Oh, we drafted him at 20. All right."
Yeah, let's just take his back up here. We're chilling.
Yeah.
No, it was right there where he realized they didn't have Torrance.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought we picked him already. Well, pick Torrance, the fake one.
That was a stinky.
He just said, "Fuck it, pick
pick.
Osiris Torrance. I don't care that he's off the board." And there was an intern in the back of the room, like, "Hey, have you heard of this Bradford guy?" They're like, "Yes."
It was like
Just yes.
It was like Jonah Hill and Moneyball, just like Anthony Bradford.
You know,
Cameron Young.
hold on. I just want to say too with the Bradford
What's his
thing,
batting average?
the worst part about it is if they were like, Bradford's just a developmental guard, right? If they really
Andrew Voorhees.
Right. If they really wanted a developmental guard, there's like 4 guys on the board there that are still better. Voorhees, Chandler Savala, Antonio Maffi.
Yeah.
Like, they had options. But instead they were like, no, let's go with Bradford.
Yeah, it was a rough process.
Fucking hate it.
But they addressed the interior of the offensive line, which is definitely a need for them with Cameron Young. Sorry, defensive line. Another stinker. They could have had Jalen Carter. Stinker.
Yeah, pick one.
Everyone could have had Jalen Carter.
Yeah,
nobody wanted him.
I just want to ask, so y'all know how I said I watched 20 interior defensive linemen earlier?
He wasn't one?
No, where do you think I had him ranked? He was 20.
22.
Yeah. He was 20. No, he's...
You left room because you knew somebody was going to be better.
No,
put him at 22.
What happened here? This is actually a panic, is what this was. Because if you remember, before this pick, there was a big run on interior defensive linemen. So they were just like, fuck it, take one. And somehow Cam Young was the guy.
Pick a name. They just
They
threw a
picked the
dart.
name out of a hat.
They just threw a dart.
Yeah.
That guy.
Literally, the only positive thing I had written in his draft evaluation was that he's young and he kind of flashes a bull rush sometimes.
The Seahawks draft him was just like, guys, wait. Somehow Bryce Young is still here. Pick him. We have our quarterback of the future.
Let's go.
I love how incompetent we all think Keith Snyder is. I love it.
Yeah, there's only a few explanations as to why they're making these picks.
Mike Morris. Miller, what do you know?
Mid.
Mid.
No, this is another guy that I was very underwhelmed by. He was edge 35 for me. But apparently they're kicking him inside, which I like a lot more for him, because my big issue with him...
Hey, though, you signed 2D tackles, and then we draft 5, and then we're going to cut all of them? What is the fucking point?
They didn't have any interior defensive linemen going into the offseason. They literally didn't have any.
Yeah, but when you sign a bunch and drafted one literally the pick before this, maybe pick an actual edge. Well, Just a thought.
Well, they also run. Okay, here's.
They shouldn't pick an edge. They have edges. They don't need edge.
They run
should never take an edge.
Weird hybrid 3-4-4-3 defense. So,
I said they shouldn't take an edge at 6. You fuck.
An edge. They don't need any edges.
Oh my god, I'm gonna kick this dude.
No, Mike Morris,
wedges.
Like I said, I like him more as an interior lineman because he's not fast, he's not quick.
I'm gonna kick you in the dick.
He's not any of that.
They have two generationally mid edges. They should not take any more.
Better than every player on the Packers, you bitch. Shut up.
Rashawn Gary is better than anybody they have.
Rashawn Gary has never had more than 8 sacks. Stop overrating a mid loser.
Oh my god. Even I think Rashawn Gary's good.
Yeah, let's calm him down, Geek. He's the best in the NFC North.
Anyways, Mike Morris.
Daniil Hunter shits better than he does.
Terrible.
Shits better.
Mike Morris is okay.
We're moving on. I don't care about Mike Morris enough. I'm sorry, Miller.
I mean, no, he's just mid.
Nobody cares.
This was a good pick.
Not about what you're saying, just Mike Morris.
Olu.
Olu
Watimi. Pick. I mean, I think we all had him graded a lot higher than the 5th.
I think I had him as my center.
I think I had him
3 or 4,
3rd or the 4th.
I think I had him 4th.
Yeah, this is a good pick. Position of need. Olu's good.
Yeah, go pick.
He's just a smart, strong center.
Anybody know anything about the safety in New Mexico?
I do.
They should have taken JL Skinner. That's what I know.
Yeah, so Jarek Reed. First of all, I like him because New Mexico. You know who else went to New Mexico? Brian Urlacher.
Walter White. No.
Brian Urlacher went to New Mexico. He was a Lobo. That's what their team's called. Fun fact, Brian Urlacher.
So Jarek Reed's going to be a bad person. Got it. No.
Don't remind me of that. Let me live out my childhood. No, it's funny because Brian Urlacher played like a safety linebacker hybrid role at New Mexico. They called the Lobo back, and I think that's so funny. Like, he was listed on their depth chart as a Lobo back. But yeah, Jarek Reed, he's just a small, athletic ball hawk. That's all he is. He'll be fun to follow. Like, he's a guy that I'm going to be rooting for really heavily because I love an underdog. But he'll be good on special teams right away, and then he's going to learn from Quandre Diggs, who also isn't the biggest dude in the world, so hopefully he'll pick up a thing or two there.
Yeah.
What are you facepalming about?
Jake, read the next pick.
They did it again. Kenny McIntosh. They did it again.
What was the point of Charbonnet then? Why? You have 17 running backs now? Why? This is stupid.
Well, Kenny
I hate it.
McIntosh is a 1-for-1 replacement for Travis Homer.
Bang.
Like they're I don't remember how McIntosh is as a run block or as a pass blocker. I'd have to check my notes. But like he is the replacement for Travis Homer as your third down back RB3.
Awful. I hate all of this. Fuck you, Kenny McIntosh.
Hey, homeboy had like 70 catches with no drops. Put some respect on his name. Even though I don't really like him either.
What do you grade Seattle's offseason, Miller?
I give
I'm
him a B
stealing Jake's
plus.
job now.
Give him
Hey.
a B plus.
That's all I do.
All right, you know what? Go ahead, Jake. You can do it. We'll leave that in, but we'll let you have your job back.
Oh.
Oh, all
I
right.
won't do it. I'm just gonna give my grade a B plus.
Oh wow, you just copied Miller. All right. I'm gonna go C minus because fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. I am gonna go B minus though because I'm kind of mad at every decision they made because it's just kind of bad. So many things they could have done just a million times better, but they're idiots for no reason. But hey, the JSN pick was great, so there you go. Merry Christmas. I sang a little praise for Seattle.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
San Francisco 49ers will be the final
You were
team
just
that
saying
we
letters.
will be.
I thought that's what we were doing.
The discussion point for tonight. Their free agent signings boiled down to one man.
They signed a lot of people, but only one matters, and that's Javon Hargrave.
Oh, I forgot they did that. When Geek said they signed somebody earlier, I totally forgot.
4-year, $84 million deal, $40 million guaranteed. It's good. Like Javon Hargrave is really good.
The rich get richer, and I hate it. Fuck them.
They could have used the interior defensive line
about
help.
the draft.
He's super good.
They drafted a kicker. That's about it.
Also, Clelin Ferrell is now San Francisco 49ers. Let's give it up for Clelin Ferrell.
Hey, can we talk about their actual starting quarterback for next year, though?
They also signed Sam Darnold. So
that's the one, Sam Darnold. The GOAT. Nah, Kyle Shanahan's already said Darnold's the best quarterback he's ever worked with. So
that's because he doesn't want the league to know about Jack Coletto yet.
True.
Because Trey Lance is a future Viking, and I'm ecstatic.
The things that we have mentioned are the only things they did. John Feliciano, at guard.
They re-signed Jake Brendel.
Yep.
They also lost Mike McGlinchey.
They lost Mike McGlinchey.
I don't know if that's bad or not.
49ers W.
No one knows.
49ers W. We'll see how he plays with the Broncos, but I lean towards
they
it being
got
good.
Tashawn Gibson back.
Yes.
He was gone, but they're bringing him back. Wyoming legend. Wyoming legend. So, draft class.
They didn't pick until the third. Their first pick, they took Ji'ayir Brown, safety out of Penn State.
Why are we hating on Ji'ayir?
It's not him, it's the fit. It makes sense. Because listen,
doesn't make any.
Ji'ayir Brown, poor man's Talanoa Hufanga.
Well, the Niners are pretty poor, so
have Talanoa Hufanga.
So it's called a backup.
With your first pick in the draft?
In the third round. Let's take a career back.
Third round.
You traded up for him.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it only gets worse.
It
only
gets
worse.
Look,
here's
my thing. I like Brown.
Their next pick is the best pick in the draft.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Brown's cool.
Yeah, you would
think
that.
Good player. Took him a little earlier than I would have. I had a late 4th round grade on him. They took him in the late 3rd. But literally, he is a poor man's Talanoa Hufanga. Great instincts against the run, none against the pass. Triggers to the ball really well. Is able to play good run defense. He's just gonna play downhill.
Hear me out.
Okay, if you're gonna say
they're
gonna
moving him to linebacker,
no,
because they missed like 4. They lost like 4 of them.
And they've
got Greenlaw and Warner.
They drafted 2 in this class that can be really good if they play their cards right.
Or Brown is better.
No, linebacker he wouldn't be.
He's only good at playing the run, that thing linebackers need to do, but he wouldn't be good at linebacker. Make it why.
I'll explain when we get to the other guy.
Or just explain why you don't think he'd be a good linebacker.
I trust him playing up close to the box, but if he's going to play in the box consistently, I think he's going to get washed away in the run game. He's not somebody that's going to consistently get in between the tackles and be able to go up against a lineman like you want linebackers to do to a certain extent. Plus, with how they prioritize their linebackers in San Fran, looking for rangy guys that are really good in coverage, not Brown.
Hufanga moves to linebacker.
That would make a lot more sense, but then you're missing out on the coverage on the back end.
Hufanga wasn't good in coverage, so you're not really losing much.
You're going from mid in coverage to bad.
Yeah, but they can just have Brown work out with Palomalu like they did with Hufanga, and it all work out.
I don't know. Listen, I'll put it this way. I trust Shanahan. I trust Wilkes. They probably got something cooking I don't know about. But look,
I'm just saying stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll put it this way too, right? If they really wanted another safety, if they wanted somebody that's going to start opposite Hufanga, there were guys like Chris Smith and Jordan Battle that are just so much better and complement Hufanga so much better than Ji'ayir Brown does. Because to me, this is using your first pick in the draft, trading up for a backup. And it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like when I did my video, I graded this out as a C because I like Brown and I think he's fine. It's just the fit is weird.
Yeah.
I gotta see it to really.
Well, I mean, their defense is entirely changing, though.
Yeah. So
who knows
the only
how
problem
that works?
is if you have two safeties like that on the field at the same time, there's nothing on the back end. There's no coverage. And
that's what Deshaun Gibson is for.
But then you're going to run three safeties and you have to take a linebacker off the field, and that's not good for them because their linebackers are good.
Well, because they have to take one of three linebackers off the field. They only have Greenlaw and Warner.
I'm telling you, the guy they just drafted can be one of those guys. Either way, mid pick.
Best pick they had in the draft, though, is next.
Round 3, they took Cameron Laitzu. That was their only third-round pick.
No. No.
Whatever. They took Jake Moody. Okay.
This is great.
Who cares?
Listen,
Nobody.
No, hold on, Geek. Is this like I was a kicker love thing, or is
this is a kicker love thing?
You actually think this is a really
trying to justify a kicker in the third?
This is actually a good pick. I'm sorry. What's the most important outside of a quarterback? Who's gonna be the most impactful player for you in all reality? Your kicker. Rusher. You bet on games with them.
Wide receiver.
They win and lose you games. They're gonna score more points than anybody on your fucking team. Good kickers matter. How many teams just think about your fucking team, Miller. How many games you lose because your kicker fucking sucks?
That was 1 year. With one bad kicker.
You haven't had a good
that was
kicker.
1 year.
No, Cairo Santos was really good until last year. And then he just became mid, and we weren't losing games because of him. We were losing games because of everything else.
But my thing is, good kickers matter.
The thing is, Jake Moody would have been there in the 5th.
Right.
Actually, he probably wouldn't have because multiple kickers went before then. He's not the only kicker to go before round 7.
He's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
I can't get behind the idea that this was the best player available for them in the 3rd.
Exactly. First
of all,
that's
crazy.
You're in the 3rd round.
No
this
shot.
This is your 2nd pick in the draft. I get that you need a kicker, but look at the historical precedent of taking kickers before day 3. If you don't include a guy like Sebastian Janikowski.
Yeah, because he was a first-round pick. But
oh no, that is who I was thinking of then. My brain just mixed up Janikowski and Gostkowski. Is what just happened there. I did meet Janikowski. So outside of him, we're talking about guys like Roberto Aguayo or oh my god. My brain's failing. Oh my god.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh my god, I gotta go on my phone.
Highest drafted kickers in history. Let's look here. So Seabass. God, some of these are from a million years ago, and I'm not counting them.
Yeah.
Like, cool, you took a kicker in the first round in the 80s. Who cares? Mike Nugent was a second-round pick.
Also, the next kicker was taken in the 4th round.
Right, which you said he'd be there in the 5th. Obviously, he wouldn't have been. He would have got taken by that team in the 4th round.
Patriots, so do we really count that? Because Belichick's weird.
Oh, so it's okay when Belichick does it.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm
not when the guy with maybe gonna have the worst starting quarterback next year when he dropped that with Brock Purdy.
I'm saying it's Belichick.
Needs a kicker.
My point is, it's Belichick. He's probably still going to take the same kicker.
Oh well, that might be valid. Honestly, not gonna lie to you. 2016 Roberto Aguayo.
Mike Nugent, second round.
Mike Nugent was good.
Yeah, Nate Kading, 2004 third round pick.
I can't remember if Kading was good. Was Kading good?
Martin Gramatica in 1999 third round pick. Brett Conway.
I'm pretty sure he's a Hall of Famer.
Gramatica?
Yeah. Maybe not a Hall of Famer, but he was actually really good. He literally had multiple commercials. He was also called Automatica. So
he played for a long time. Didn't make it to the Hall of Fame.
He did.
Though.
No, he definitely didn't. Okay, to be fair, how many kickers are Hall of Famers?
Right, I mean, there's not a lot.
That wasn't exactly right. But you can hold that against me because I was wrong, which is valid. Jason Elam was also one of them. He was really good for a long time.
Since the turn of the century, there have been
two,
3, 4. 4
drafted
in the top 3 rounds. What?
Who are the 4?
Aguayo.
That's bad.
Yeah, Nugent, Kading.
Nugent was good, and Kading wasn't bad. And Janikowski was great. So you've got great, good, mid, and bad.
I don't know.
Okay, literally better odds than drafting any other position ever.
I'll put it this way. I think the fact that it's happened 4 times in 23 years says a lot about how the league feels about drafting kickers high.
Yeah, fullback man who didn't have a fullback get fucking drafted. I don't want to hear it from you.
One did get drafted, bitch.
The defensive end doesn't count.
Yes, it does, because he's playing fullback.
Nah, the defensive end doesn't count.
Put some respect on his name.
You don't get to count the D end.
I do, because he's playing fullback in the NFL, and he played a little bit of fullback in college. They
literally announced defensive end, so that's all that matters.
Well, the Jaguars have him listed as a fullback, have him wearing a fullback number, and the NFL recognizes him as a fullback. Respect Eric Parrish.
Respect kickers.
Listen, I'm not saying I don't know enough about Moody to say if he's great or bad or whatever. I'm just saying I think taking a kicker in the 3rd round isn't great process.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. Is Jake Moody the kicker equivalent of what we thought Matt Araiza was last year?
Ooh.
No.
No. He's not, then I'm not taking him in the 3rd round.
Okay. You know what got him taken in the 3rd round? He hasn't missed a PAT. Ever.
Well,
that's what got him picked here. Which, every NFL team seems to struggle with getting the point after. We got to move on. Jake's tapping his watch. Jake's tapping.
Yeah. I mean,
Cameron Latu.
Horrible pick.
Terrible pick.
Horrible. I mean, he does
know anything about him.
This dude is the definition of.
That should say something. Mid. This is the 3rd round. You don't know who he is.
That's valid. At least everybody knew who Jake Moody was.
He was tight end 13 for me.
I think he was even lower than that for me.
Yeah,
he was
bad.
I
have written down for him is he's got good pop in his hands. Everything else is bad or average.
What is this? Baseball? He's got good pop.
Like when he hits, when he's run blocking, when he hits you with his hands, he generates a little bit of pop.
But what about Daryl Luter?
I like Luter a lot.
I'm just pushing us through here.
So
sorry.
Luter's just a long arm, big hand, smooth, fluid nickel that's probably going to start for them right away. Like this was probably the best pick they made.
He's good. I like Luter.
Yeah. He's probably the best pick they made.
Yeah. Well, no. That's Jake Moody. That's the best player they got, at least. So, cope. Uh,
I don't know much about Robert Beal Jr.
Nothing.
He's just an athletic edge with a crazy wingspan. Like he
there you go.
he's gonna be good like as a stunt guy, and you can get fancy with him, but that's about it. He's rotational.
Well, their D line's so set. Having some weirdos who can come in and do weird stuff is cool.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much what he is.
So, is this
think-
the linebacker you
Yes.
love?
I think D.
D.
Winters is a good pick.
It's not that I necessarily love him. It's just he is okay, I'll put it this way. He is the ideal developmental linebacker, right? He has everything you want in a developmental linebacker. His athleticism's crazy. His instincts are already pretty good. He's got good range. He blitzes really well. He's really good in man coverage. His big thing is just learning. He doesn't understand his run keys fully yet, and in zone coverage he can get lost. Those are things that are teachable. That's all mental. And the 49ers have the best like in recent history have the best linebacker development in the league.
Yes.
So I'll put it this way. Within 2 years, this is probably your other starting linebacker. And long term, once Dre Greenlaw starts to get up there and starts to get more expensive, or if you're in a pinch and don't want to pay him, he can step in and play Dre Greenlaw's role. Like, if this is another team, I wouldn't be as excited because he is a developmental linebacker in a pretty bad linebacker class. But with the Niners, it's exciting because they are actually a team that can do something with this.
Maybe.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a developmental linebacker. There's no
well,
guarantee.
No, so I was gonna say, well, because D'Amico's gone, that didn't matter because the guy who developed all of their linebackers was Sala. So yeah.
But I mean, they clearly.
Well, maybe unless they have a good linebackers coach. I don't know.
Which
I don't
they
get
might.
that
I
deep
don't
into
know for
coaching
sure.
trees. I don't
Yeah.
fucking know.
Yeah.
Braden Willis. Let's go
It's
tight end
so
number
funny.
4.
He's so funny because he's better than Latu.
That's the best part.
That's
Yeah.
a dub then, right?
Yeah, he's
That's
just
a dub pick.
he's just
Or
a
an
classic
L, 'cause-
blocking tight end.
Weird. Ronnie Bell.
He's
Ronnie Bell.
yeah, he's just
He's a
fast.
receiver of all time.
Yeah, he's fast and he's good on like crossing routes, which the Niners like a lot.
Knock off Trey Palmer. Heard.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's actually a good comp.
Jalen Graham.
He's a safety that converted to linebacker and is also fast and will probably just be like a really good special teamer.
So what you're telling me is they basically only drafted linebackers and a kicker and tight ends. Linebackers, kickers, and tight ends.
I mean, yeah, this is a bad draft
It's
class.
a really
Outside of
bad draft
kicker,
class.
This is a bad draft class.
they didn't draft a single need. They don't need linebackers. They don't need safeties.
Corner.
Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot
corner.
they
Looter.
did get a corner. My bad.
Looter. Like I said, Looter's the
So-
best pick they made.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Looters.
He'll be
Yeah.
their starting nickel
So-
day one.
They had
Yeah.
a bad draft class.
Yeah.
They didn't
I'll
do
put it
much
this
in
way.
free agency.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask for grades, but if you have
Oh,
more
I
thoughts,
was
go.
just gonna
Oh,
say Looter's Emmanuel Mosley. That's what he is.
Honestly, here's the thing. Had Moody been picked by anybody else, I don't think we'd be having the argument we're having about him. If he was a 3rd-round pick to Seattle, nobody would care because they had
Call
other
them stupid
picks.
because they have
and-
Jason
Yeah,
Myers.
and that's
well,
the bad
you
thing
know,
about,
but you know what I mean.
yeah,
This
that's-
wasn't their 2nd pick overall when they have some actual needs to fill.
Yeah, that's
They didn't go kicker.
Mhm.
Like any other team or like a playoff team who doesn't have a kicker, it would make more sense. But like you had needs. To be fair, it's not like they did a good job filling those needs in the rest of the draft anyways.
Yeah.
So fucking who cares? Moody probably ends up as the best player from this class for them. Maybe Looter, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's tough when your best pick's a kicker.
They had a bad draft class, didn't do much in free agency outside of Hardgrave. C-.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also what I gave them.
Yeah. C-
Although,
sounds right.
Shout out to him for bringing in hybrid fullback, linebacker, quarterback Jack Coletto out of Oregon State.
Sir.
I don't know what
Shout
the
out
fuck.
to him for picking Jake Moody.
I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do in San Fran. Maybe, like I said, maybe unironically he'll be the
Nothing.
Anything they
quarterback.
want him to do. Yeah.
Honestly, he does probably just exist as quarterback 5 because they'll need him by week 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good special teamer. That's probably what they want him for mostly.
Well,
Yeah.
that concludes our NFC West divisional off-season grade breakdown thing. What? Can I outro? What happened?
No, I'm just laughing at the fact that Miller now has to go upload this 4-hour episode.
Yeah.
I have to upload it?
How am I gonna do it? You recorded it.
I was gonna send it to you.
How?
Still
Through
your
Google
job. Still your
Drive.
job.
Oh, God. So I now have
I'm
to stay
gonna
up
let
for
those
6
two.
hours
I'm gonna
waiting
let
for
those two
download.
figure this thing out.
No, if
But
that's the
we
case,
do want
then
to
I'll
thank
just
It
you
won't be
so
up
much
tomorrow.
If that's the
See
case,
you
then
on
I'll just
Saturday.
upload it.
for listening to this episode of the Run the North podcast that will be uploaded on time as scheduled on Friday. So you guys listening to this on Friday because it was uploaded on time and Geek did his job. And yeah, we want to thank you guys so much for listening
job all
to
night.
this episode
Stop it.
of the Run the North Pod. Be sure to go follow us everywhere at Run the North Pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the social platforms that exist. And yeah, that's about all we got for you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to do everything you can to help grow the podcast on YouTube and over on Spotify and all streaming platforms. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
End it.
Bye.
Don't get it. Oh.
Bye.
Oh, he has
Fuck
control over this.
I will go with the buys for 6 hours. I don't care.
Adios.
So